Hello everyone, welcome to the ProPokePodcast. My name is ProPoke, and joining me once again is my co-host, Amma Gamma. How you doing tonight, Amma?
I'm doing alright. How about you, noob?
Did I just say tonight?
Yeah?
Nobody needs to know. For all we know, tonight could be 4 in the morning that we're recording this.
Wait, it's not 4 in the morning?
You know what? Yeah, I know, it's kind of strange, but we didn't want to wake anybody up with the podcast. This is... Wow, what is this? This is the ProPokeBowl Season 5.
It's 3 in the morning, we're playing some Pokemon, guys, let's go!
What podcast am I actually on right now? This is the ProPokeBowl Season 5 Preseason Episode 2. We're going to be talking about Draft Day. Draft Day is July 17th, 2019. It is closing in. I'm so freaking excited. And we're going to be talking about how the drafting process is going to be looking in Season 5. It is different. We did hint at it and talk about it during the first episode, but we're going to go into greater detail today and talk about our opinions between Pool 1 and Pool 2, and then we are going to be giving our overall thoughts of who's going to be going in, what are we looking at when it comes to coaches, something just as simple as that. We're not going to go into too many details in terms of the actual players, because we need to see what their teams are going to look like. We have a different episode we're going to do about the history of coaches for the most part, considering we have a lot of returning people which have stories, but then a few new people who have shown their worth within the ProPokeBowl. Are you ready for this, Gamma?
Yes, I am very ready.
Now, I'm going to expose you, and I'm going to tell everybody that you forgot how the draft process works.
Oh no, now they know! It's embarrassing, I'm sorry.
Is it actually, though?
It's horribly embarrassing. I don't know how I'm going to live with myself now.
You can't see his face right now, but he looks devastated as he's staring at his SP trying to play Pokemon Crystal while talking on the podcast.
I just want to hatch eggs, okay?
Oh wait, no, you need a 3DS to put your dime under it, right?
Yeah, no, that's certain games that you can do that.
5 and 6? No. 3? No, 3. You could do it on 3, couldn't you? No, you can't do it on 3? No, 3 is... You need 3D.
No. Yeah, you could do it with any of the DS games. Well, no, actually, 5 you can do it in the Battle Subway. 6 you can do it in Lumio City.
You can do it in the Battle Subway?
Like, isn't there a way you can just press up and continuously go in a circle? What's the Battle Subway that did that? I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
You could also do it in ORAS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, no, I know ORAS is the most prevalent one because on that beach, right? You just keep going around in a circle, and you get stuck in that little thick patch of sand because Game Freak hates all of us and doesn't want to give us an official breeding spot. But
yep. Here's looking at you, Gen 7.
Hey, Gen 7 has you running with a Tauros into a fence.
Yeah, but I can't just leave my game alone to hatch eggs, okay?
You could, you're just not going to hatch any eggs.
You're not wrong.
Luckily for us, we're not breeding, we are drafting. Let's talk ProPokeBowl drafting. ProPokeBowl drafting is going to look a little bit different from the other seasons. It's going to be same format, but different ways in which we have pick orders happen, and the weights of the pools as well has been slightly modified. So let's talk about what the drafting process is. If you've never watched the ProPokeBowl before, it's a draft tournament. What that means is you have to draft from 2 different pools. You will draft 6 Pokemon from each pool for a total of 12 Pokemon on your team, and that will be your 12 that you go through with. Any excess Pokemon that are not picked up from the pools will be thrown into a trade pool, which can be accessed week by week throughout the regular season. It's been a very successful system. The ProPokeBowl was predicated upon this unique drafting format because rather than watching people just pick up the best of the best, I wanted to bring an element of strategy, as I always do with all my other content, miraculously. I wanted to bring a little bit more of a flair when it comes to how people keep in mind the ways to balance out their teams based on looking at power versus looking at flexibility versus looking at accessibility. And it's been probably one of the more defining moments, I would say, of the ProPokeBowl.
I'd agree with you on that.
It's unique in a sense. It's not like it's not necessarily original where somebody has never done this before and this is out of the waters and oh my god, it had so much strategy. It has evolved throughout the seasons in terms of we went from a complete sand team in season 1 to now season 4 where you actually had to build a good team, and draft won the tournament arguably because the way in which the teams were drafted, you had number 1 coming out with an incredibly well-designed team throughout the different tierings. So Season 5 is going to be a little bit more interesting because we're going to be having shifting positions, and we're going to talk about that right now. So, the way that I do it is I take all the coaches' names. I randomize them. Are you following, Gamma?
I am. Okay, so we throw them in a hat, and then we pick them out.
Actually, we throw them to our good old friends over at random.org. Thank you very much for... They aren't sponsoring us, but I always thank random.org. That's just my thing. We throw them into a randomizer. We put them into a pick order. They go in a snake format. So that will draft they will ban their first Pokemon in the order from 1 to 11. And then you'll go back to the beginning of the pick order. Number 1 will choose their first Pokemon. Depending on their pick in the odd numbered drafts, so that's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, their subsequent drafts, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, will be influenced based on the tier of the Pokemon that was picked in the odd number drafts. So, Gamma, just yell a Pokemon at me, randomly.
Politoed.
Politoed is PU. So, if Amagamma was to pick a Politoed on draft number 1, we'd laugh, but we wouldn't laugh because he might have a lot of strategy. Because when you pick a PU Pokemon, your next pick has to be from NURU, from UU, or from OU. And obviously you'll have the pools on screen, and the coaches do receive the pools 2 weeks in advance to draft day. So there are many people strategizing. And before we go on, by the way, I want to make a quick shout out to World Leader 9000. One of the coaches. Did you see the thing in Discord where it's a drafting simulator?
Oh, yeah. I did see that. I was messing around with it. It's pretty cool.
Were you actually?
If I'm thinking about what you're talking about, if we're thinking about the same thing.
He posted it in the ProPokeBowl section, and he fixed it up to make it kind of incorporate the tiers thing. I love that type of stuff, man. I love when people get that much into the tournament.
Oh.
It's actually somewhat precious to me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Because it's an automated thing that you get to do to practice with this drafting. So Amagamma would probably want to pick up this drafting simulator to realize that maybe picking a PU on first draft is not necessarily the best. But we've seen stranger things in the Pro Pokeball. However, the idea is we want to make sure that people are trying to leverage their tier picking with trying to find the way to build their style of battling while working around the restrictions. So if you odd number PU pick, you have to choose from NURU, UU, or OU. If you RU or NURU odd number pick, you have to choose from PU or UU. If you UU odd number pick, you have to choose from PU or NURU. And if you OU odd number pick, you can only choose from PU for your next pick. Those specific pairings also apply to your bans. So if your first ban is Landorus Therian, which, by the way, it should be, then your next ban during that pool has to be a PU ban.
I swear if Landorus makes it through, I'm quitting this podcast.
Yes, Emma has made it very clear that I will lose a co-commentator and a co-host, mostly co-host, but I will lose basically a friend if any of you let that stupid, mustached, beautiful bastard of a genie through.
Leave Murderface the Pokemon out of this.
He's not Murderface.
It's literally... Have you seen the image that Tony made?
No, but have you seen that literally Sharpedo and an Alolan Muck are faces that murder? That's Murderface to me.
Yeah, true.
It's just a face with like a hand sticking out and random fins on the other. And then it evolves and gets a nose. Ooh.
It's a scary and threatening nose, though, Noob. You should watch out.
Beware the nose. Except Beware doesn't have a nose. Anyways, now, snake format, the way that works, if you're not familiar with tournament drafting semantics, you go from 1 to 11, because we do have 11 coaches in the tournament, so we'll be going from number 1 to number 11 in the list, and then we'll be going backwards. So number 11 will go back up to number 1 in terms of their second picks. This does mean that the coach in position 11 will have double picks on every time it comes to them when they're in the 11th position, and number 1 on the way back up through the snake format will also have a double pick, which will be finishing off their pairings for the even number drafts, and then starting off their brand new odd number pairing. Hopefully that made sense. It's a lot of fancy words. I probably could have said it better, but I didn't. You listened to it. Thank you very much. Now, these pick orders change every 2 picks. So, you will ban a poke, pick 2, and then we re-randomize the pick order. Then you will pick a poke, ban a poke, then pick a poke, then re-randomize the order, and then pick 2 pokes. Did that make sense to you, Gamma?
I'm not going to lie. I got a little lost because the first thing that popped into my mind was Pick-a-Peck, not Pick-a-Poke.
Well, it's better than Pig Epic.
True.
Yeah. But does it make sense?
It does. It makes sense.
So at the end of the day, every coach should be coming out with 6 Pokemon picked and 2 Pokemon banned.
Yes.
So it's basically ban, pick, randomize. Pick, ban, pick, randomize. Pick.
Sorry. Every time I say Pick-a-Peck, I'm just... I can't.
Get the Pick-a-Peck out of your head.
I can't! No, but yeah, that makes sense. So it randomizes halfway through. Like, you randomize the order.
Yeah. Well, okay. You randomize every 2.
Every 2. Okay.
Every 2, yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, so it starts out at 1. You go all the way down the list. They get a double pick and go back to 1. They get to do their pick, and then you randomize.
Yeah, so you'll go through the snake format. You'll go through the snake rotation once. So you'll go 1 to 11 and then 11 to 1, and then you re-randomize.
Got it. All right, cool. Now that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. And the banning that works is the banning goes 1 to 11 on the first ban, and then the second ban will be 11 to 1. So we reverse, we snake also the bans, because then it'll go back to the snake picking on the 4th pick and type of thing. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yep.
We're just catching up Amagamma. He needs to know this because he's talking about the pools. So these are very important details for him, not for you, the viewer or listener.
I mean, hey, maybe they had the same question as me, and now they know,
Hey, coaches have signed up for this tournament before and didn't know how this worked.
I mean, that was me.
You didn't sign up for the
tournament. At one point. I signed up for one of the mock tournaments, remember?
Fake.
I got 3rd place.
Fake. 4th.
4th?
You didn't get 3rd. You got that rusty
whatever.
stone trophy that they try and give you, like the participation award, but it's like missing a corner. That's what you got in 4th. You would have rather have gotten nothing.
Oh, you're not wrong.
I think that's the most insulting award I ever got. When I played chess, I got like 12th out of 14th. They gave me participation, but I'm like, don't give me anything. I suck. But thank you.
You know how they say 2nd place is 1st place for losers?
No.
4th place is just 1st place for being garbage.
4th place is that kid who never got a birthday party and is looking through his neighbor's window and looking at triple layered chocolate cake with all of his friends. That's 4th place. You're outside that house. No, I'm kidding. We respect all places in this tournament.
Yeah, no, we don't actually think that way. It's just
of course, because if you're 10th place but your meming is 1st place, then you technically won the meme war. And we don't even encourage memes. My chat likes memes though, so
I love memes. No, you're the people's hero. You know that? Dropping those memes everywhere in the tournament,
You are referring to 10th place, not me, right?
I'm talking to 10th place, yes. Listen, if they go in with a whole like almost PU team just to meme because they're all garbage and they still come out above 10th place, I'm gonna be happy, that they memed super good.
So you heard that, right? Amagamma's challenge to you. 6 PUs, 6 NURU picks. Get 1st place.
Yeah.
You want at least make it to playoffs. You make it to playoffs, you are probably chat's hero.
Oh yeah.
Or at least you're going to be Gamma's hero.
You will be my personal hero.
Oh, that's so sweet. All right, so let's talk a little bit more semantics because we're being silly, Gamma, and it's my fault. So,
sorry.
You drafted with Oxum back in season 4. Okay, so you are aware of these pick orders and how they influence the way you think about approaching your list, because I'm assuming you guys wrote out a list of top tier picks, and then you move down to kind of like these are the okay alternatives, and then these are the ones that desperate if I have to type of picks. Correct?
Somewhat like that, actually.
Okay.
We were in a call with Ox. We were going down the list, and she's like, "What's good?" So I believe it was me and Shark King. We were looking at the list, and her turn rolls around, and we tell her a couple Pokemon that would be good, that could possibly work together. So she ended up picking that, and then we rolled back around with the snake formation, the pick order, and by that time some stuff had been picked up or it's banned, so we just kept on going, trying to figure out what we could do to synergize the team together, along with get the picks that we want. Because you're not going to get all the picks you want. I'm telling you that now. Nobody should go into this thinking they're going to get every pick they want.
And most times the tournament was designed to be exactly that. It was about adaptation and it was about that synergy, right? And we will talk about the different approaches, at least what I've come up with, the different approaches on how you can look at a draft pool and what's worked for people versus what might work for you in case you are a little daunted by the whole process of drafting. From a, like, we're talking, this is 236 Pokemon you're looking at. That's a lot of information to take in, especially when you have 10 other coaches next to you and you have no idea what they want to do, and you may not know their background history. You might have some history from watching previous Pro Pokeballs if they participated, but this is a very challenging concept. There is a lot to process. Do you go for a playstyle that doesn't suit you but will bring you more power, or do you go for something that might be a little more comfort but might not actually have the flexibility or the strength to make it through and beat enough people to get into top 6? Because in the end, your goal is top 6. It's not about getting number 1. Like, number 1 is great. Seed 1 is always fantastic. We're never going to drop that theory. But getting to top 6 is what brings you to the full fruition of, is my draft going to do it? And then from there, the next step is, can my draft do it to the championship finals? That's what you're really looking forward to. In essence, pick order will determine what you're exactly going to be settling with for the most part, right? The way that I generally describe it is, you either want to be on the first 3 of picks or the last 3 of picks. So with 11 coaches, the way that I'm going to put this is, if you're between pick 1 to 4 or pick 8 to 11, you're probably in a good spot to control the pool, because now you've got either very first pick of the tier, so you've seen what everybody's doing, or you just, like, if you're the very first pick of the tournament, then you get whatever you think is best from pool number 1, and you go from there. Either suits you or just goes from there. If you're number 11, not only do you get control of the double pick, you get to see what everyone else has kind of picked up, and even though you maybe get the scraps, you also get to pivot onto your even numbered matchup and kind of pull the first blood of, these are the OU-PU, or these are the UU-PU combinations that I'm going for, and this is what I'm going to settle with. So it's very powerful to be either on the receiving end of everyone taking your stuff but seeing what they have, and either being responsive, although usually responsiveness doesn't help much, but we will get into that in a second, or being on the end of actually controlling that particular round. And because it randomizes every 2 picks, there is a chance that you can get put into a more powerful control position or more of a reactive position. Being in the middle sucks. And this is partially the reason why we changed up the entire format of, instead of randomizing once per pool, we now randomize 3 times per pool in terms of pick order, because being in the middle for 6 picks literally meant you were subject to the torment of everyone around you either picking up your Pokemon too early or grabbing Pokemon that you wanted on the other way back.
I can attest to that because Ox was in the middle. She was like number 6 or something like that.
Oh.
And everything she wanted either kept getting banned or picked. So me and Sharking and Ox are just scrambling to put together something with some semblance of synergy between the Pokemon that are there. And it was a mess, but it worked out in the end, I guess. So it can be pretty frantic. It can be a frantic situation when it comes to picking the Pokemon and the pressure, because I'm pretty sure you only have a set amount of time, if I remember correctly, to choose that Pokemon.
You have 1 minute.
You have 1 minute to pick a Pokemon. That's not as much time as a lot of people would need. So this causes you to think on your toes and figure out what you need faster. And you could mess up. You could get it right. It just depends on your picks and options and everything else going on.
That's actually a really good point. I should point out there are time limits to the drafting. On the first randomization of the pick order, you get 10 minutes to take a look at the pool before you start off on that pool. And then after that, every 2 picks, you get, I think it's 2 minutes. I can't remember the exact times, but you get about 2 to 3 minutes to take a look. So when you get re-randomized, you can react a little bit better, play around with your lists. Every coach pretty much comes in now with a list, whether it's on paper or it's in a Google Doc like I prefer, or an Excel sheet. A lot of people have colored Excel sheets to show them S tier, A tier, B tier, whatever. But you are given a certain amount of time to pre-plan based on your pick order. And then when it is your turn to pick or ban, you have 1 minute to make that decision. And some people have pushed it, and if you don't make it on time, you are randomized into a Pokemon.
Yeah, honestly, the randomization factor in this, like re-randomizing the pick order, it definitely helps out with that situation, hopefully, unless you're really unlucky, which I don't think it would be that bad. I think you'd be able to get into at least the first 3 or the last 3 at some point in the picks. There's a high chance of that.
Statistically speaking, if you do score the middle nonstop, you're a terrible of a lucky person as I am. But
don't buy a lottery ticket.
don't go out. Don't stand under a tree in a lightning storm. Don't throw a penny at a light switch because it's going to randomly bounce back into your head with a lightning bolt. Everything's lightning based. I also had a thunderstorm. So yeah. The nice thing is, though, if you do get randomized into that middle, that also has an implication that, yeah, you might not have the biggest control over the pools at that time, but at least you know that. And that's useful to know, right? You want to know, am I actually going to be in this position where I'll have to rely on maybe trades later? Do I start tanking my picks, or do I just start taking UUs so that I can control whatever UUs are left over in the pool? Because the unique thing about this particular ProPokeBowl, and this is the first time this has ever happened, about, I would say, 88% of the UU tier and 100% of the PU tier are in this ProPokeBowl, split between the two pools. So every Pokemon you'd find ranked at PU and almost every Pokemon ranked UU or RUBL are found in these pools. So the weight is about 18% of the Pokemon of the 236 are OU, 25% is UU, 35%, this better be the math that I'm doing right, 35% is RUNU, and then 32%, 18 to 25, 35, so yeah, 32,
Math
35, 25, 18. That should be 100. Sorry if I messed that up. I have the number somewhere, I just didn't pull them up. But you have you can understand that the numbers are a little bit more skewed to add a tiny bit more to the OU section and a little bit less to the PU section, but still you ended up with all the Pokemon from those respective tiers, and then the PU just being filled out with the rest of ZUs just to kind of do it. But we were a little particular with what ZUs we picked. I usually randomize the Pokemon that I pick up, but then I also look at them and go, well, if I picked up Bayleaf, screw that, it's not even ZU, but, if I picked up a Pokemon that I didn't think would offer a lot of utility or purpose on a team, no matter how weak or strong your team is, I left it out of that pool. But this is the first time where we're going to see a lot of power, rightfully so, in this tournament. Because now, if they ended up in UU, they're almost all there. So they have all earned their spot in UU for whatever reason metagame-wise. So it's going to be interesting in that sense, and part of this trading process and part of this re-randomizing your pick order process, I think gets less punished a smidge by being unlucky, just because now you can realize, you know what, maybe trading won't be so bad and I just get my trades done week 2 and we just start rebuilding the team from there, or we just try and pick up as much as we can and hang in the middle of the tier and deal with what we're given, right? I think drafting is incredibly important, but anything can be played out in the end to support and bring success.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to go that way. No, damn it, noob. You're distracting me with your hand motions.
Are you getting mesmerized by my hand motions?
You're talking with your hands and I'm just getting lost.
It's the only way I can keep up. I talk with passion, Gamma. I have three strategies in how I look at drafting in this tournament. I have perspective, playstyle, and power. Gamma, yes. I'm going to talk to you.
All right, hit me.
You are the advisor to literally the most aggressive, apply face to keyboard player in ProPokeBowl Season 4.
Yes, you are correct.
Okay, just wanted to confirm that you can live with that fact. I want you to talk to me about playstyle, because
oh god,
in your opinion, and this is nothing against Ox, but this is actually something that we've seen kind of as a pattern now in the ProPokeBowl with Season 3 with Chaos Infinity, who played an extremely hyper-aggressive team. Now Oxum going to the finals with a hyper-aggressive team. Talk to me about playstyle. What is it about playstyle that can influence the discussions going on when it comes to picking up Pokemon?
All right, well, when it comes to playstyle, it's something that you really have to think about what you're used to and what you want to do, because even though Ox went with a hyper-aggressive team, there were still options. If I remember correctly, she had taken a D-Bond Houndoom, which you would not expect to see on a hyper-aggressive team, in my opinion. And there's just little things that we wanted to add in for her, so she had the options, but she still went with the super aggressiveness due to the fact that she's used to playing Pokemon that only have attacking moves. Like I did the same thing back like when I first played Pokemon, and a little while after, until I actually learned about the battling scene, and I would only do attacking moves. I wouldn't do like defog or spikes or anything like that. No setup, no actual like thought processing moves.
To be fair, I think that was all of us.
It probably was at one point, but just trying to work around that mindset is definitely something that's a little bit of a challenge. But once you start thinking about your opponents and what you think they're going to do, it's all about the mind games, because that plays a big part in what you pick, what you do, move sets, Pokemon, all that stuff. And I feel that's just probably going to be the biggest hurdle for some people, but it could be the biggest asset to a lot of people as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. There is a noticeable difference in players who stick to a playstyle that they're used to, but can't draft to build the strongest version of that. For example, if you're an OU player, you might be really aggressive in OU, but now when you have to replace your Thunderous T with an Electrode, it's not the same hyper-aggressiveness that you're used to. So the next strategy becomes, what are we going to do with that hyper-aggressiveness, or what am I going to do with that stall tactics, momentum-based? So my playstyle, again, you said your playstyle is aggressive, right? You like to play a little bit more on the offensive side?
It originally was, but then I started learning, and I started doing like mixed things where I would throw, hazards every once in a while. And I learned the usefulness of Toxic for huge tanks like Snorlax and I'm forgetting.
Oh yeah, Toxic on that immunity Snorlax, buddy.
There's an immunity. Is there?
Yeah.
What?
It has immunity.
But who runs immunity? Why wouldn't they just use Gluttony?
Why would you use Gluttony? I mean, maybe you use Gluttony now
so
because
you
of
can
the
recycle that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you can recycle the berries.
Well, you'd probably go belly drum with it, but I mean, carry on. It's fine. I'm just busting you.
Not gonna lie, I forgot where it was. Oh yeah, so I started mixing things up. I started throwing hazards. I started using status moves, and it was just nice to mix that in and evolve my playstyle. It's something that people have to do eventually, like Ox or any of the other coaches. Some people have certain ways they like to play, and they don't want to mess with that. That's perfectly fine, and there's ways you can work with that. And honestly, I'm just looking forward to seeing how people do end up playing in the next ProPokeBowl.
And what Gamma has described, and this is not meant to sound insulting. It's just it's the word usage is important. That is the most rudimentary thing to think about playstyle, and that's perfectly okay because that can mean the difference between just playing a casual playthrough and suddenly building a competitive team. Believe it or not, Smogon does come up with some pretty good sets. If you have worries about what Pokemon can do, you watch battles on Showdown. If not, you kind of just look at the movesets of the Pokemon and go, okay, what move gives me the most value for its type or for my attack-based Pokemon, my defense-based Pokemon? What do EVs make sense for what I want it to do on the team? And honestly, experimentation is great because you have multiple weeks. You only battled everybody once, but if you do well enough while playing and practicing and theorizing, what might look on paper might not happen in battle, but that's just more of the adaptation that could come with your playstyle. Working within your limits is fine. Obviously, however, the people who can play out their draft the best will come out on top. I think, it's hard to say Season 1 because Season 1 was just such a broken sand team that Daggerdrome built. It was disgustingly a balanced Mega Alakazam-based sweeping Tyrantrum Excadrill disgusting whatever that was supposed. It was gross. Clefable, Alakazam, Excadrill, Tyranitar. The man had everything. It was truly a spectacle to see that people didn't know how to draft, and that's fine. It was Season 1. But as time went on, you start seeing the stall players, which arguably stall has not done that well in the past couple of Pro Pokeballs. Hyper aggressiveness has done a little bit better with the dawn of the sky powered sock powered Sky Sharks. Yeah, sock powered Sky Sharks.
Yeah, sock powered Sky Sharks.
And then you see the strategies more of the momentum side, which is what I would equate myself and more fleshed out Sweet D of Team Iron Man, whatever the hell he was called. But the way that you just play of kind of, you have a sweeper, or you might not have a sweeper, you more or less just play out momentum in the game, volt turning, and continue to try and put pressure on the opponent to keep switching while you try and trip them up, get the extra damage out, and over time, because your matchup is better than theirs, you just slowly whittle them to the point where any hit will start taking out their options, and you basically choke them out, but not in a stally statusy sort of way. It's more of a, I'm just making one step better than you, and you're running out of options. That's the type of play that he demonstrates much better than me now, but that is kind of the strategy that I understand the most, and that's the playstyle that I build towards. The one time that I participated in a mock ProPokeBowl, I built towards that momentum, whereas the draft might not call for it, but I still work towards that, and I understood my strengths and weaknesses as a result.
Honestly, it's a big thing. I would suggest to those who want to take this as seriously as possible, do a bit of research on the Pokemon in the pool. See what could work well with what. See what kind of things you could experiment with. What types of moves, what types of Pokemon, what types of abilities. Just take time to do a little bit of research and see what would work best for you.
And I think that statement leads us into that second P that I want to talk to of the 3 Ps of pooling. That was perfect. I like that. I like that.
That works out.
It does. The next one is perspective. Now, this one is going to be the most diversified, depending on how you view the pools. For example, Amagama is a big fan of pool number 1 as being the more important pool to focus down on, where I am more of a pool 2 fan because I find there's just so much broken stuff in pool 2, it's disgusting. But perspective will change the way you do that research, right? Playstyle will influence your perspective, obviously, more so understanding the metagame as individual tiers and then trying to apply a particular Pokemon into a tier above or below it. Most likely going above because it's going mixed OU, so we're going up to OU. So you always want to think up in terms of your Pokemon. So if you're picking a PU, what is that PU going to do if it was an OU, right? What's it going to do if I had to play against NU, OU, UU, everything else that's above it? What role will it do best? And this is where I want to bring up that Destiny Bond Houndoom. Because before Destiny Bond Houndoom, we didn't see as much success from Ox's team, right? It didn't get as many kills as we give it credit for. It did put more thought into people's minds, but there is that element of understanding the Pokemon's role in a different way throughout time and learning what can be used to start to shape rematches, especially in the playoffs, right? Again, it's a series of 2 that you play against your opponent. You can't change the moveset up, so you kind of have to get it right on the first try throughout the regular season. But during the playoffs, this is when you start looking at your opponents going, this is how I need to really think about this Pokemon's role on my team and in the tournament in general. We saw Sharpedo and Beedrill be enormous killers because the typing itself, Crawdaunt also was an enormous typing advantage because the majority of the pool could not handle the water-dark typing, right? Or the coverage that those particular Pokemon had. So, now, Gamma.
Yes.
I need your perspective on perspectives.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, here comes Philosophy 101 a la newbie.
Oh, God. All right, I'm ready. Hit me.
In your words, describe to me what perspective feels like as a coach. That sounds really stupid of a question, but what inspires you to build a perspective on a ProPokeBowl pool when thinking about mixed tiers? Especially knowing that you have to pair Pokemon up based on an arbitrary system. I'll give you a minute.
Mine's trying to process. Oh, boy. Honestly, so here's the thing. When it comes to the drafting, we have those 4 pools that we can choose from. I mean, not 4 pools, the 4 categories in which we can choose from. You need to focus and make sure that you're not just picking OU, PU, going back and forth. You need to be able to mix it up in there so that you have options to think about what you could put on a team that would work well together. That's what I think. I don't know if that answers your question.
You're looking for an element of flexibility.
Yeah, you want to be flexible. You don't want to just be bullheaded, go for the best, go for the worst, and then just try and build a team out of OU.
And there might be even, upon your analysis of the pools, you might not even see that OU offers you much because you can assume that while, and this is what we're going to talk about as the third P, which is power, you want to assume that you're not going to get 6 OUs, first of all, between two pools. Since the number of OUs is equated to, if there were no bans in the OU tiers, everyone can come out with 2 OUs. Because there's 44 OUs split between 2 pools, so there's 22 in each pool, which means everyone of the 11 coaches can take 2. So you can keep that in mind, right? And you can play around your perspective of the pool as, I'm going to get these 2, and then I'm going to build like this. Or you can keep that on the back burner, because even then, what if it becomes a reality? What if it becomes a move for you to trade for something else that you may find ends up in the trading pool? It comes down to that, but it also comes down to how you understand Pokemon in their role. You might say that Crabominable is terrible, and it's not the best. But for someone's team, it might do something. And that's where it comes down to perspective. You know, if you had to choose between Kangaskhan and Crabominable, you could say, well, Silk Scarf Scrappy Kangaskhan is going to do better for me than Crabominable. Another person, though, might be looking and go, you know what? I really need a stab ice move to handle that particular team. I'm going Crabominable, and I'll suck it up. Horrible weaknesses. Assault Vest, go.
Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm going to put something here on the record real quick.
Yep.
If somebody does draft Crabrawler specifically, Crabominable specifically, and they do well with it, if they place within the top 6, I will give them a sub to your channel.
That's too easy, man. They could just keep it on the back burner.
No, they got to be using it. That's the only stipulation. They have to use it every week.
Okay, but we have usage statistics. Do you want a particular percentage of usage? It'll be out of 22, because they'll be doing it'd be out of 20 battles. Do you want a particular usage of it?
At least 50%.
Okay, are we looking at tier 1 sub, or are we up in the ante here? I think you got to up the ante for something like Crabominable. Okay. I love the Pokemon, man, but look. And that's a Pokemon to try and make work, and it's doable, but...
Alright, you know
$5?
what?
Mm.
Noob has twisted my wrist so hard.
Ouch, I'm sorry.
I think it's gonna have to be a tier 2 sub.
2 sub. I'd say a tier 2 sub would be fair for that.
I would say tier 3, but I'm not made of money, man. Okay.
Do I have an emote up a tier 3?
Because if somebody is able to do it, I just had the I just had the thought that I don't think anybody's gonna do it. But if they take me up on that challenge, if you don't win it, I will respect you more as a person, because you tried to do what you could. You you went in and you memed so hard.
We saw Unknown make it to top 6. Crabominable can do it too.
If he can do it, you get my respect. If you can get in the top 6 with it, you get that $10 sub.
With over 50% usage. Or
with over 50%. At least 50. You know what? I'm gonna up the ante on that, actually. Let's say 70%.
Oh, 70%. Whoa, okay, mister, I can make anything work.
All right. Back to 50 then. Okay, you happy now?
I think 50 is extremely fair. Even
50
if
is fair.
Somebody's getting $10 value of a sub by getting 10th place in my tournament, which is going to be equaling about the monetary value of the prize in the ProPokeBowl. If you end up throwing for that. And if you don't use it, you technically maim yourself with an extra slot gone, because you only have 10 Pokemon since there's 1 ban and Crabominable. So...
You know what? What if somebody just hears that and bans Crabominable at this point?
Please do it. I'd love it. You know what? We'll talk about Pokemon later.
I'll give you a $5 sub if you ban Crabominable.
On draft night, Gambling Watch would be like, you're kidding me.
We'll see if they hear this message.
Brought to you by the ProPokePodcast. Available now on YouTube and SoundCloud. Let's talk the last one, Gamma. We've had perspective. We all look at the pools in a different way. We understand the metagame in a very different way, i.e., I never read the pool like anybody else in the tournament who wins. Playstyles matter immensely. We have seen certain playstyles prevail, but let's talk the most concrete and easiest thing to read, and that's power, energy, musculature.
I'm flexing my muscles right now.
The beef. What'd you do?
I twisted my arm.
Oh.
I tried flexing.
Twitch is the other way. It'll fix it. I'm a kinesiologist.
No, that didn't help. Ow.
Why would you do that?
You just told me to.
You're right. I am a person in a position of influence. My bad. Power, Gamma.
Ow.
So,
okay.
When we refer to power obviously means if it's a higher tier, it's probably better, right? Wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong. No, Gamma, it's wrong.
No! Oh, no! My whole world has been turned around!
On average, it is higher usage, but we also see Swampert in OU. And the reason why Swampert's in OU is because its Mega is in OU. So there's a couple things to keep in mind when you're looking at power rankings, when you're looking at overall strength for what you're getting. A lot of Pokemon have been shifted around in the metagame based on individual tierings and usages, where in their own tier, they're okay, they're the best, they're not that great, whereas in a mixed OU, Slowking takes over, Metagross takes over, Virizion does work, and these are all lower tier picks. The really cool thing about Season 5 in the year 2019 playing Pokemon, there are Pokemon everywhere that are amazing, right? Even if they don't look amazing on paper, or they're like a good Pokemon, but there's just a better version of it somewhere else, these Pokemon exist to make your life a living hell, and they could be easily drafted into by picking up a power pick at a higher tier and then going to lower tier and scooping that up. Some people have gone lower first and then scooped up a higher tier because those lower picks are so much more important for success because of their influence on the metagame that it just gives them such a powerful pivot going on to the next pick. So, Gamma.
Yes.
Once again, I need to come to your expertise with Miss Hyper Aggro, apply face to keyboard, keyboard to wall, wall to the moon, which is perfectly fine. I don't know why I have to keep saying that. I'm legitimizing it. When it comes to power rankings, when you look at it, for you and for when you were helping with the drafting, when you played your mock ProPokeBowl, when you saw the most powerful version of a physical sweeper, or the most powerful defensive wall in your opinion, based on perspective and knowing your playstyle, what did power have to do with your next decision in response or as a flex? And what I mean by a flex is, if you do this, well, I'm going to do this. What are your approaches when it comes to that part of drafting?
All right, when it comes to me personally, for what I choose, I look at what other people are choosing. I take a look and I see, oh, this person's picking a really strong physical Pokemon, and I feel like it's going to be a problem for me. So I look at that Pokemon and I see, for example, I don't have a Pokemon. Let's say its special defense is just garbage. Actually, not garbage. Its physical defense is horrible.
So that would be, let's say, Goodra.
All right, Goodra.
It's not garbage, but it's worse.
Yeah, so we throw out Goodra, and I just think, and I'm like, I need a Pokemon that's either high special attack, because I know that Pokemon's going to be a problem. I'll get the high special attack, and I'll make sure I have moves that are appropriate for that. And I just continue from there and try to keep my eye out and make sure that there's no other problem Pokemon for what I'm trying to do specifically.
Now, do you do this pick by pick, or do you do this after seeing an entire section of picks? Like, do you delay picking up your power sweeper or your power defensive core? Like, do you actually consider the entire pool of 236 personally? Like, I don't care. Most people consider the entire pool, right? What's your take on it?
Personally, what I do is I keep an eye out for one row of selection, and I see what they pick there, and I take whatever I think out of that is the most problematic, and on my next go around, I look through the pool to see if there's something that can be a very big solution to that, as well as have, not just specifically for that Pokemon, but just all around okay, but more specifically to fix that problem.
And that's a very practical approach to, I guess, more of a reflexive and responsive type of drafting, which works if what your take on the pool is actually being picked. Because in this, when we talk about the actual pools themselves, you will notice there's a fair amount of there's a fair amount of like easy mode walls, sweepers, super. You could literally build a team out of pool 2. I'm just gonna say it, but I do agree that there is an element of, you know what, this would be really great, but maybe I could delay this pick and notice that, okay, if I'm seeing a bunch of walls that have just been picked up, but they kind of suck at special defense, and it's like on 4 or 5 coaches, I'm going to go for my special attacker now. Is that what you would describe it as?
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Just seeing a pattern and a problem and doing my best to fix that problem. with my choice.
Now, just out of curiosity, do you have a particular tier you look at when it comes to that power pick, or is it more specific onto the details of the Pokemon?
It's more specific to the details, but if I do have the chance, I'd like to keep the higher options available to me. So I would try to keep it in at least NU, RU, or if I have to go UU, I'll go UU. Or if I know I can make a Pokemon work in PU, I'll pick that. I'll just jump on the PU because I'll be able to jump on that OU solution next time.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of when you think about, like we were saying, in UU there's probably a better version of an NU Pokemon or an RU Pokemon put into the pool, right? So you will look up and be like, what would be the best in this? But there are other implications, and this is, I guess, where that sort of mentality of, okay, well, this UU Pokemon Darmanitan is really, really strong, but maybe its coverage isn't as good as this NU RU Pokemon that can pick up, which does a similar role, might have less base stats, but could do better for me and towards the metagame itself, right? So just because it's a stronger Pokemon, unless you can make it work better, sometimes there are better options in the lower tiers first, and sometimes it's cool to delay because then if you understand, well, this guy picked up Darmanitan, well, I know that I can bring Milotic, and I'll be fine. I know I have Milotic, so as much as I wanted to answer with that, it's not happening. Here's my next choice. And that's where, in my opinion, power comes into it. It sounds exactly like playstyle and perspective, but these things are all linked together like the reduce, reuse, recycle system. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, recycle your plastics. Save the earth. I don't want to die early. But power comes down to what works overall in the metagame, but also, is it powerful in its own right for what it does, right? Maybe there are no more UU really good physical attackers that you like, but is there an NU one that will just do the trick? We saw it with Aggron. We saw it with, Crawdon is UU, or now it's OU, but I think, was it OU when he picked it up? I can't remember. Either way, we saw it with Aggron, we saw it with Serena, we saw it with Bronzong back in Season 3, like these Pokemon that in their own right are not the number ones in their tier, but they end up being powerful because of the utility and everything they brought, so suddenly their power ranking becomes huge. And we're talking, he dropped, I believe, an Amoonguss for that Bronzong, if I recall correctly. And you'd be like, but Amoonguss is a better wall. Not for that team. He suddenly found a different angle, and now the draft has evolved. And that's the coolest part of the Pro Pokeball, is your draft at first just looks like power pick, and then you look at someone else's draft, you go, power, second tier, third tier, why do you pick Shedinja, power pick? And then you go, oh, there's a purpose to that, and that's what it gets cool. Even if it doesn't work, the uniqueness of everybody's drafting styles and how they view the power rankings based on their play style creates the 3 Ps of pooling. I'm proud of that.
If you can't hear, he just patted himself on the back.
Damn straight I did. I'm proud of that, man.
No, you deserve it. That's a great way to put this. It's a perfect embodiment of the drafting process.
The 3 Ps of pooling on the ProPokePodcast. Now, Gamma.
TM original idea, do not steal.
Thank you. Hype Man has also become my patent lawyer. He knows how to protect my intellectual property. My IP. There's more P in there. That sounds weird. Let's move on to the next section.
Yeah, now we're going to jump on Show Me a Moveset.
Is it set or sets? I think
Movesets.
Is it Movesets? Should I say Show Me Your Moveset? Should we just call it Show Me Your Moveset? I think it's the easier thing to hear. Okay, we are changing it mid-season or mid-series, aka
Second
2 episodes in. Man, this is a short series. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Show Me Your Moveset. Gamma, you were at 3 points.
I am.
ProPokeNoob?
I believe you are as well.
Thank you. I was going to introduce myself, but you could do it. I'm glad you remember. It's okay. You are just as involved in this as I am, but considering that I started first last time, I think you should go first. For those of you who don't remember this game, we have both chosen a competitive moveset from Smogon University. We're going to be telling each other the tier, the gen that it comes from, the moveset, and we're going to try and guess where it is. If we don't get it right on the first try, we're then going to give the typing, and then if we don't... Oh, no, it was going to be the gen... No. It's going to be the type.
That the moveset's from.
Well, you're giving me on that with the 3 points. Then on the 2 points, if I have to move down a tier, you're giving me the typing of the Pokemon, and then if I still don't get it, or you don't get it, we go to the generation that the Pokemon is from.
Okay.
Are you ready, Gamma?
All right. Yeah, I'm ready. All right. So this is a PU moveset. The first move is Defog. Second is Leaf Storm. Third is Superpower. And the last one is Synthesis.
And this is Gen 7 PU?
This is Gen 7 PU.
Repeat that moveset again, please.
Defog, Leaf Storm, Superpower, and Synthesis.
Defog, Superpower, Leaf Storm, Synthesis? What?
Yeah, I know, right?
Superpower, Leaf Storm.
There is one piece of data that would definitely help you understand why certain moves are there.
Oh! Is it Lurantis?
Dang it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it is. It's Lurantis.
Yes!
I maybe gave you a little too much saying that because it's contrary Lurantis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think. Oh my god, I didn't know it got superpower.
Yeah, it gets superpower, defog, synthesis. It's perfect.
I knew.
It's a good moveset.
I knew defog on it, but I'm like, does it get superpower? Cool. Oh, dude, that's you forgot to give me those details, but I went in straight.
No. The Leaf Storm superpower, you can either whichever you want to do. If you want to do attack power or special attack power, you got it. You got hit a little bit. Take some synthesis.
I think one of the main setups for it is similar to what you wish Malamar got, or superior to make it even more broken, but essentially you use superpower to gain defensive stats, similar to how you use Calm Mind to gain special defensive stats, and then you set up your special attack, which is your prevalent attack. So you get a little bit of coverage because his attack is not that terrible, but at least you're getting defensive capabilities while contrarying up your special attack, which is going to sweep. And then you keep defensive with synthesis.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was hoping I'd trip you up because I always talk about contrary superior and Leaf Storm.
I wasn't. Honestly, I was thinking of Poliwag. I thought you were going to be like a Poliwag.
Yeah, Poliwag has Leaf Storm and superpower. I knew it.
No, you said when you
Poliwag, let's go.
When you told me that you were going to bring up a Pokemon you talk about all the time. Either that or Gardevoir.
I do. Oh, dude, you don't remember that whole period where I was looking for a contrary Snivy for like months, and I was just whining and complaining that I couldn't find anybody on Reddit to trade it to me?
Oh, I remember that now.
Yeah. Oh my god. And the worst part was I was trying to get in a friend ball because I like to have certain balls for certain Pokemon.
You are disgusting, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you too. Okay. I get 3 points.
Yep.
A single clap from everybody. Okay.
Clap.
Gamma.
Mm-hmm.
This moveset comes from Gen 6 PU.
Okay.
I will tell you now, if it helps, the Pokemon is also still in PU in Gen 7. Just because I think it's fair now. Okay, the moveset is Return, Bulk Up, Rest, and Sleep Talk. The item is Leftovers. The ability is Guts. But the nature is Careful.
Is it Girder?
Is that your official guess?
You said it was PU.
In Gen 6.
And
in
Gen 6, and it gets Guts, right?
Now, just as a reminder to everybody, he can only look at the actual tier. He can't look up anything specific, like type in Guts and filter that out. He has to look it up just from Showdown.
Yeah. The only one that I think of would be Girder. I'm going to go with that. Girder's my final answer.
You were incorrect.
Dang it.
Would you like the 2-point hint?
Hit me.
It's a normal type.
Let's see. Normal type. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I know what it is.
Okay.
It's Eradicate, isn't it? It's Eradicate. I'm taking that final answer.
You are incorrect. What the hell?
What the heck?
Eradicate's not PU. What are you talking about?
Oh, maybe it's Borderline.
No, it's not.
Is it ZU?
Borderline of crap, yeah. It's Z,
I'm a
man.
mess. What is my life? Is
Okay.
it, I don't know. Ursaring.
There you go, man.
I
It
give
is
up.
Ursaring.
I give 1 point. Listen, man. I'm trying. Okay. When I type in PU, that was the only Pokemon that showed up.
There's 40-something Pokemon that show up when you type in PU.
What the heck? That doesn't sound right.
Where are you?
In Showdown.
Yeah, did you type in PU?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I filtered it out.
Uh-huh. And what did you find in PU? A Alolan Raichu, Alolan Sandslash, Clefairy, that stuff? Clefairy?
Alola, yeah.
Oh, surprise.
Where the hell
Is
is Ursaring?
Clefairy in the draft? I guess it would have to
Yeah, I
be.
don't see Ursaring in here. Yeah, he's not in the filters.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. No!
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Okay, redo. It showed up as PU for me. Okay. I got this. Gamma, I got this. Alright? Here we go. I'm gonna check this Pokemon and make sure it's okay. Okay, this Pokemon is actually PU.
Oh, okay, sure it is.
And it was also, this is going to be a Gen 6 NU set.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a Gen 7 PU Pokemon.
Mm-hmm, sure it is.
The moveset is Drain Punch, Mach Punch, Knockoff, and Stone Edge.
I'm taking a wild guess that it's a fighting Pokemon.
Its item is Eviolite. Its ability is Guts. And its nature is
You're just doing Girder!
He did it!
Oh my god. All that struggling at the first part, and he goes to Girder immediately. I'm so done.
Okay, honestly, I thought Ursaring made it to PU. Really? It sucks that much?
Yeah, sucks.
Note to self, don't trust Smogon. Okay, Gamma, well, we're both at 6 points.
Yay.
Let's be real. We wanted to keep it competitive.
It took twice.
Well, you know what, though? Technically, you were the closest to what it should have been in the beginning with Guts guessing.
Well, okay. So the thing is, Ursaring here is either borderline PU or ZU, and I'm not sure which.
Is it PUBL?
It's the one in parentheses, so I'm not sure if it's BL or...
No, the ones in parentheses are ZU.
Okay,
it would
ZU
actually
then.
say...
It dropped down.
Is it ZU?
It's trash.
Okay, hold on. Let me check something. PU only has a PUBL, so there's no ZUBL yet. Because I don't think ZU is not a real tier yet. But PUBL means that it's actually an NU Pokemon. So,
okay.
Stuff like Aromatisse, Archeops, Sock, those types of things.
All I know is that Ursaring has irked me for the last time.
Oh, bears are getting on your nerves, my friend.
I can't possibly bear this anymore.
It's okay, man. I'll make it more bearable for you by introducing our pools.
Oh boy, I love pools. It is summertime.
It's just getting worse and worse. Like the heat in Arizona. Okay.
How far can we go down this rabbit hole?
As far as you dig. Here we go.
Oh god. Don't give me that power.
Like an Infinity Gauntlet power?
Oh god, no. Okay. To the pools!
I guess. Let's cool off in the pool here. So, pool 1. What we're basically going to do is we're going to break it down tier by tier. We'll talk about the pools as a whole near the end, but we're just going to try and go through each tier, see what we like, maybe some random facts about certain things, what we think should be maybe bannable or what should be pickable, what might be a bit of a contestation. It's difficult to tell because we haven't put in as much time looking through pools as the coaches have. We also don't want to reveal too much information and give people ideas. We just kind of want to make you as a viewer aware of what could be seen and what you probably want to see but won't see because they're better players than you. Maybe. Or Gamma, you're right, I should give the other side. Maybe you're better players than them, and you're going to be like, what is this?
Why didn't they do this?
Why didn't you pick up that Pokemon? Why is that Pokemon going to the trade pool? Why do you have 8 Pokemon weak to ice? You know, that sort of stuff.
No one uses ice.
Ice is not. Remember that one great statement I heard in Season 4? Ice is not an offensive typing. No, Ice Beam's just nothing. You're right.
Yeah, no. Did you also know that bugs are weak to ice?
I've known that since the days of Butterfree because, man, that thing keeps dying to Ice Beam. I have no idea why.
No.
Couldn't possibly figure it out.
I told you.
Okay, Gamma, here we go.
All right.
Pool number 1. However many minutes we're into this podcast, I'm sure everybody's just zoning in now. This is the moment they wait for, so we have to do this the best. Are you ready?
All right, we can do that.
Oh goodness, you actually gave us that much trust. Thanks, man. Okay, let's start with OU. So, okay, no, not OU. Let's start with the overall look of Pool 1. You say you like Pool 1 the most. What is it about Pool 1 that you find the most appealing?
I honestly feel that I know not a lot of these Pokemon are stat-wise as strong as the Pokemon in Pool 2, but there's a lot you can do with them. Specifically, one combination of 2 of these Pokemon pops up from previous ProPokebowls, if I remember correctly. In Pool 1, we have Heatran and Celebi.
Yep. Celatran!
I remembered.
Celatran! Oh, I can't wait to not see that again. I hope.
Wait.
Oh my. Nobody gives Celatran back. Please, for God's sake. I don't want to see that stuff again. Don't do it.
We might see it.
No, Gamma.
There's a lot of things we could see here.
Gamma.
There's a lot of flexibility.
Don't wish that back.
Pokemon.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Skarmbliss Better Edition in the Pro Pokeball again. I don't want it. Because then why don't you just say, hey, let's pick up Gastrodon with that Celatran core and make it literally Sweet D Season 3. Because that's what it was, I believe. It was Celatran with Gastrodon, if I recall correctly. That's disgusting.
Gastrodon's in this pool too.
Gastrodon's in this pool too. In Pool 1. I don't want to see it again.
Well, we don't know.
So be specific. Like in Pool 1, first of all, Pool 1's obviously the first pool they're picking from. This is where you really get to see the definition of either the supporting roles, or you might be able to, like, this is the time when you maybe want to build a team around it. What are you seeing the most from Pool 1? Just at first glance, if you were just pick this up as a coach and go, okay, here we go. What is the first thing you're looking for since this is the first pool that you're going to draft from?
Like I was saying, flexibility is the one thing, because all these Pokemon have different abilities and moves that just, I feel, can meld together real well. Like I was saying with the Heatran and Celebi, there's Greninja. I know people usually go for Battle Bond Greninja, but there's the flexibility of Protean, where you can either swap to set up Greninja, physical Greninja, special Greninja, and have that stab. You know? There's the Blade, which is ridiculous with Eviolite, in my opinion. I've seen certain PokeTubers use that in their showdown videos. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You wouldn't be talking about that famous guy we don't know about, right?
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
Radio.
Know nothing about him.
Nothing about Blade.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Not like we didn't see it Season 4 either do its thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I just feel there's a lot of strong Pokemon ability and moveset wise, personally, from my opinion.
So there's 2 things that you can look forward to when you look at Pool 1. If you're approaching this as a coach, you might look for your linchpin. So this will be the first of your key components to your draft. So because you know you need to see what's going to be happening and you know what's coming up in Pool 2, you want to kind of solidify, this is my position. This is what my anchor's going to be. This is what my defensive core is going to try and work with. This is the direction of my draft. The other way that you could look at it is, I'm going to pray to God to get lucky in Pool 2 and try and pick up the finishers over there and just kind of build general or just draft generalized Pokemon that can do their job okay, but I'm going to try and get better ones in the future. Otherwise, I'll work with it, right? So when I look at this draft, OU's looking pretty juicy before we get officially into the Pokemon. But I view it as there's a fair amount of power that can be picked up in OU in both tiers here because we have an increased number of OU in the pools. But there's I need to bring it up right now. Gamma, I mentioned to you that weather exists like 14-fold in this entire tournament, correct?
Oh yeah.
So we
There's
have
not much to do with that.
So here's the thing about weather in my tournament. It doesn't win unless you're Dagger Drome. We saw Season 2 rain. We saw Season 3 rain from Dagger when he went for his rain team where he had, I believe, Kingdra and he had Ludicolo and Pelipper, which I thought you were going to talk about instead of Celatran, but Celatran's a better example because it was successful. But there's a lot of weather in this for those who want to look for that kind of interesting combination. So there's Pelipper, there's a Alolan Ninetales mixed with Aurorus and Abomasnow. There's also Charizard, which has the awesome value of having both Megastones coming with it. There is Houndoom that can use that with solar power. You have Venusaur that has Chlorophyll. You've got Rotom Frost, which could work in the hail. You've got Ludicolo, Floatzel. You've got Caracosta. You've got Kingdra, Seismitoad. You have Swampert. All of those can work in the rain. And the Curveball. You ready for this, Gamma?
Hit me.
Did you ever exist in the era of Rain Corona?
That sounds like an oxymoron. I have not.
You have never heard of Quiver Dance, Hurricane, Hidden Power Water, Volcarona.
Volcarona gets Hurricane?
It gets Hurricane. So what you would do, I think it was Bug Buzz, Hurricane, Quiver Dance, and HP Water. So when Rain was a little more popular and existed a lot longer, Volcarona would get 100% accurate Hurricanes, HP Water would get the bonus from Rain, and you just had coverage, and you'd set up in the rain because you couldn't even hit it with neutral fire moves because it was getting resisted. Now, it would get blasted by water even harder, but it wasn't going to live that anyways. So you'd win the weather war, and then Rain Corona setup. Yeah.
Okay, well, honestly, that seems busted. Actually, that kind of reminded me of a tech that people are doing now. It's in the VGC version of Pokemon
Rage
Battles. No, not Rage Powder, but they, I believe there was a way. Oh, they ability swap Dry Skin onto Volcarona, so that it's just immune to water Pokemon. I mean, water moves.
Heals too.
And yeah, it heals too, and it works out. I've seen it work a lot in VGC battles for some reason, which I never would have thought of that personally.
Who are they swapping it from?
I believe it was Jinx.
It gets skill swap. Oh, I guess so. Yeah. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
we're not playing VGC though, so we can't really.
No, I know. It's just something that kind of reminded me of it. It's just versatility with the Pokemon.
Why does Volcarona get such cool things?
I don't know, but I hope somebody bans it.
You actually want to ban
somebody's
Volcarona?
gonna steamroll. I mean, I think they should personally.
To be fair, I don't think Rain Corona will be as strong as I make it sound, and it's not necessarily the most busted because your primary water stab move is Hidden Power, which, granted, got a buff in Gen 7. It's base 70, so it will be 105 in the rain if you do pair it up. And there is Politoed in Pool 2, but Politoed is in Pool 2. Yeah, no, that's Poliwrath. I'm a fool. Aha! But
I don't think Politoed's here at all.
it is not, unfortunately.
We're probably not going to see Rain Corona.
Probably not.
So
No.
I can understand that. It's just Volcarona is a pretty strong Pokemon unto itself, I think.
It is.
The only thing it's really like because it's 4 times weak to rock, but that's about it. Is there anything else it's weak to? Like,
water. Well, if you're actually asking about real weaknesses, you're looking at flying, you're looking at water, you're looking at rock, you're looking at. I wasn't prepared for this.
I'm sorry, you don't have to go on. You don't have to go on about it.
Those, I mean, you're fairly weak to pretty common attacks, but set up at the right. Like the one trap that I think many people, including myself, fall for is when you're drafting. You're thinking about weaknesses. You can be you can have 4 Pokemon on your team weak to rocks and still be okay, right? You can like rocks is a bit of a weird example, but like you can have 4 Pokemon weak to poison and just find something to answer something that's going to use poison, or build in a certain way that's not going to make you weak to that particular opponent, right? This is where the 12-man roster comes into play.
Yeah, no, I mean, as long as you have the coverage for that Pokemon
exactly
type, you know.
Yeah, because most people will say, like, oh, my Pokemon can't 1v6. It's not meant to. Pokemon is a 6v6 battle for a reason, right? Sure, it's going to get blasted by every single Pokemon on the opponent's team, but it doesn't mean you can't chip them away and then bring Volcarona in on a right time to win. So, I mean, that's one thing. That's where the true theory crafters, the real drafters and builders, get it right, where they get the Pokemon in. Oh yeah, my Sharpedo's weak to priority. Well, then kill the priority users. Duh. Like, you weaken them and then you get them in at the right time. Like, really, Sharpedo is it can be a tough Pokemon to use if you don't have the right team. It can be a really easy Pokemon that you could steamroll with when people don't know how to play against it, right? If you're getting memed up with hazards and stuff like that, you're getting messed over by someone who knows how to use their win condition. And Volcarona is a very good win condition. You've got access to, hear me out, you can do it, Charizard, and then give him Solar Beam on Volcarona. You could do it, don't do it. You can if you want. But you got Giga Drain, you got Bug Buzz, you got Fire Blast, Quiver Dance just for easy setup. You got Flame Body that can even get you a tiny bit of value on hit with some contact moves. But so you're calling Volcarona. So Gamma.
Yes.
Your 3. Give me your 3. Let's use a
Bands.
Pokemon term here. No, I want you to give me your top 3. I want the top 3 OU for you, whether it's ban or pick, and tell me if it should be bannable. Because top 3 doesn't mean it has to be banned, but it does mean keep and watch out for it.
All right, the 3 Pokemon I'm going to call out to watch out for.
Yes.
First being Ninetales, the Alolan version.
Okay.
Because Aurora Veil is busted once you get that off. It is almost impossible to just completely destroy a team once it has Aurora Veil.
Okay.
It's also got the strong stab Blizzard, which it's going to hit all the time because it has Snow Warning, which is that's the only way people are going to use it anyway. It's got a strong Moonblast, and it could have a decent, hidden power, or I'm sure people can figure out ways to mess with it. Going on, personally, I think Greninja is one of the most viable Pokemon over here, especially because, one, I love the ability for Protean, but I love the flexibility that gives you too. With the typings, you can mess around with Greninja-wise. Like, you could either set, like I was saying earlier, you could set up with Greninja, you could do physical Greninja, special Greninja. You can do a lot of things with Greninja. Exactly, spikes. That's what I'm saying, setup. You can do toxic spikes.
Yeah.
You could do, I know there's other stuff, I just can't remember off the top of my head. And then, I guess, the last one would probably be, I'm thinking Tapu Lele, just to be, nice and rounded up. Tapu Lele is a strong Pokemon, very psychic, can take out poison types before it can get hit by those really strong sludge bombs. And the terrain. The terrain's a great ability. That's not something to mess around with. So I think those are my top 3. If somebody doesn't want to deal with those situations, I'd say ban them. But if you can get these Pokemon, I would jump on them as fast as possible.
Makes sense. You took most of mine. Thanks, man.
Sorry.
Yeah,
it's true though.
The for those of you who don't know, Psychic Terrain's a Psychic Terrain that comes from Tapu Lele prevents priority and buffs up psychic attacks. So it becomes a very potent ability to use in combination with setup sweepers, or use those hyper glass cannon type of aggro Pokemon that can clean out. So going back to that Sharpedo, looking at Darmanitan, any of these things that you try and kill off when they're too fast or too strong with priority, Lele just shuts that down completely. Those are his 3. I'm gonna take 3 different ones just to give myself a little bit of a. I'm gonna be cheating though, because I'm gonna be crossing over to the other pool and kind of making a point of it, which is fine. Doesn't matter. So the first one I'm gonna mention. And Gamma, considering you have a friend who loves this Pokemon, I'm very surprised you left him in the dust with this, so I'm going to be the suck-up and bring it up. My boy Hawlucha.
Oh, okay.
My boy Hawlucha.
I'm going to agree with you on this one, actually, too. This is a Pokemon to look out for.
This Pokemon has been destroying OU. Very, very, very much destroying. The battles that I've been watching with the seeds, first of all, keep in mind there are 4 Tapus out of 4 Tapus in this tournament. 3 of them are in Pool 2. We'll talk about that later. But setting up with the seeds is the most common thing that we're seeing with Hawlucha now, or just having no item at all. But generally having the seed gives you a little bit of an extra stat. Super pops off right away. You get access to the super boosted acrobatics, high jump kick, unburden as its ability. It's incredibly powerful. And this Pokemon used well can destroy teams. This is another one of those hyper setup sweeps that I was talking about before. I gotta stop saying hyper setup sweeps. One of these setup pokes that are kind of like that automatic go glass cannon finish them off. It's not completely useless if it gets swapped out. It's obviously better with its unburden, but it's still a fast Pokemon that could do a lot of damage. Its dual stab is fairly potent, especially knowing that acrobatics is going to be its base 165 with all the stab and everything accounted into it. Plus the high jump kick being at 195. This thing is going to kill you. Like, this thing will do a lot of damage, especially looking at the defensive cores that I'm seeing. Hawlucha's got a good typing against this. Very, very good typing against this. Hawlucha's my number 1.
It really, I mean, have you seen people play it with Adrenaline Orb?
No, that's smart
Because
though.
it's a pretty interesting tech as long as you can pull it off.
You still get the minus 1.
No, actually, do you? No,
You get the minus 1 attack.
Do you?
Like the plus one
I've seen
speed.
Yeah, I've seen people play it though. It's interesting.
It makes sense.
Definitely interesting.
Because if you're using it against something like Gyarados, or like let's think of the Intimidators. Landorus T, you're not going to touch. You're not going to touch Landorus T. Gyarados, if it's not Moxie. Usually I think Megas run Moxie so they can set up as Mega Gyarados and win. But if there's an Intimidate one, you can get it off. What other Intimidators are there?
The Arcanine.
Okay, yeah, I don't think you'd see much of that in OU, but it's there. If you're looking at the pools, yeah, Intimidator's Adrenaline Orb can be good. I don't know if I necessarily want that much speed on the Hawlucha. Considering that this is mixed OU as well, you probably just get away with the seeds themselves. But you don't get a Tapu, you have an option like that. I'm not against that. In fact, I think you're a genius.
Thanks.
I'm waiting for Fling Hitmonlee to return to the meta. Did you never use Fling Hitmonlee?
No, I never thought of that. That's
is it in this tournament? Where is it?
Hold on, I can control F.
Are you not in here, Hitmonlee? Come on.
Hit. Oh, Hitmonchan is not Hitmonlee.
Okay. We'll
that's depressing.
Don't worry about it. It's not important to this tournament. Okay, so number 1 is Hawlucha. Number 2, I'm gonna bring it up again.
Oh God.
Just because. Heatran. Heatran is an extremely flexible Pokemon. Don't worry about its ×4 weakness to ground. Play it well. You put it with a good defensive core. This thing could be offensive. It could be defensive. It can set up beyond imagination. It can trap. It can do a lot of things and has really good stats to back it up. Plus, despite the fact that it's got some weaknesses, the thing can handle fairies very well, which was a lot of people. Like, there's not. I have to look again about the number of fairies in here, but if you're worried about fairies, you got Heatran. Heatran is very, very good. I believe that quad resists because fire resists fairy?
Yep, fire resists fairy as well as steel.
Yes, so you're quad resisting that, but more so it's just the fact that Heatran can do many things for your team. Even if it ends up in one specific role, it's going to be your top tier of that specific role. Generally, I believe a special defense Pokemon. I could be wrong on that. I think it goes special defense because it looks for the burns, which lowers their attack, so you handle that too with Lava Plume. I believe, if that's how that works. Because you used to do that with Hitmontop with Intimidate because you invest into special defense. Either way, I forget. Nonetheless, Heatran, super flexible, super strong, amazing. I like him. Number 3. Oh man, you took my Lele.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say Scizor.
Really? Scizor over Kartana?
So the thing that I like about Scizor that I don't like about Kartana, Scizor's fat.
True.
Kartana, this is going to sound weird. I know someone's going to prove me wrong. I think we don't have enough coaches that can make Kartana work properly. I think it's easy to figure out, based on the defensive cores that we see exist, I think people can handle it very well. I don't think Kartana could touch Heatran, by the way. Oh, and it gets Sacred Sword, but then it dies to Lava Plume, but it's not going to kill. I'm fairly certain that thing's not going to kill. Let me look at the stats.
I would do some calcs on that. I think it could probably one-shot, because its attack stat is busted.
Oh, what the heck? It's
like in the top 10, if I remember right. Let me look this up.
Yeah, it's definitely top 10. I didn't realize it was 181 attack. Wow.
Yeah, no, that's the reason people were using Kartana in VGC is because the attack is ridiculous.
Wow. But I mean, Kyurem Black has ridiculous attack. It just has sucky movesets.
Yeah, there you go. You just there you go. That's exactly why.
I'm still gonna argue Scizor though.
I can understand that.
Even though Kartana
is number 3 of all Pokemon, including Megas. So I'm just gonna point that out.
In OU or in VGC?
No, it is the highest attack stat.
Oh, I see.
Among all Pokemon that aren't Mega Evolved.
Interesting.
1 point above Attack Deoxys.
Yes, this is very fair.
It's crazy. I don't believe this. I actually haven't looked this up before, so it's like... But Scizor has a really promising one. I think it's actually... Scizor is... What? Number 27. Sorry, I just interrupted you for math. I apologize.
You know what? You've changed my mind. Kartana's broken. Get rid of that thing. Okay. Scizor is a good... I still like Scizor just because I believe its only weakness is actually fire. Because Bug Steel only has one weakness and it's ×4 weak to fire. I think you can make an argument that... I've always found Scizor just to be a solid Pokemon. Personally, there is probably better because Kartana exists, but depending on what you're looking for your team, if you want an offensive bulky Pokemon, you've got Scizor. You could definitely build a Scizor. I think it, if anything, would be a good beginner poke to pick up as a Mega or just as a Pokemon to play around with. And mostly I'm talking about Mega Scizor, but you can run normal Scizor. It's all reliable. It's Megas in the OU for a reason. It still manages things. Plus, you have the prevalence. You have Pelipper in there if you end up picking up both. And depending on what you can finagle, hell, I would take Scizor with Ludicolo just for manual range setup to keep it a little safe if you wanted to. That's really specific. I just find I'm going to go more on the reliable side here of Scizor, whereas Kartana will probably be really much stronger, but I just like Scizor as that realistic pickup in Pool 1 as opposed to banned out and dead.
I'm curious to see if people are going to ban it, because some people might just let that lie, and it might slip on through.
What's your first ban, then?
My first ban? Oh, hands down, it's going to be in this pool?
Yeah.
Ooh, actually, wait. Okay, this pool. My first ban is probably going to be... It would probably be Lele.
I was just about... I'm banning Lele, too.
Honest, yeah.
I'm just banning Lele.
Yeah, the Guardians are pretty busted, but Tapu Lele's hands down the best one.
Yeah, I agree. I find that it's just everything about it goes well. All right, Gamma, UU, let's bring it down a notch here. We still got a fair amount of power, but let's break down this UU tier a bit. What's sticking out to you? You don't have to do top 3. Just give me really what you're looking around and what you think of the choices here.
There are some interesting choices. Chandelure is one of my favorite Pokemon. It's not the best.
It's okay.
It's got some decent special attack. It's slow as all hell.
80 speed,
Somebody can pick it up.
145 special attack.
I mean,
Scarf does it. Gengar also exists.
Yeah, Scarf would do it. Scarf would fix that. But honestly, Zeraora is kind of sticking out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Plasma Fist, to somebody who's unaware of the attack itself, can really mess somebody up. Because it has Volt Absorb. You do know the ability on that, right?
It turns their normal attacks into electric attacks, doesn't it?
Yeah, so if you move first and somebody's about to hit you with a really big return or something, you're just going to absorb it and heal yourself.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it was heal yourself. Yeah. So, like, at first glance, it's probably one of the best ones, but there's also the fact that we're going to be doing this for a while. People are going to start to realize that. They're going to look into it, understand it. So if I had to go off that alone, I'm thinking Gengar. Gengar's a big one for me. Gengar, especially because it can Mega, and Shadow Tag is pretty busted.
I mean, Mega Gengar is not going to happen, so we're not going to get that Shadow Tag.
It's not going to happen?
Mega Gengar's Ubers.
Oh, so it wouldn't be... Oh,
yeah. No, Mega Gengar does not exist in this. Do not listen to Gamma. Okay. Don't pull a Mega Metagross. This is not in here.
There we go. I did not know that. So, knowing that now, I've seen some really big things with Mega Beedrill.
Uh-huh.
Who I'm pretty sure isn't Ubers.
No, definitely not.
Okay, there you go. Mega Beedrill
is UU.
It's got Drill Run, it's got Stab Poison, Stab Bug, something Swords Dance, I guess. I don't know.
It has Fell Stinger. That would.
I'm sorry, my whole body, my whole mind's just been like, I was expecting Mega Gengar. Now I'm lost.
Oh,
I'm lost,
no.
dude. I need your help.
Okay, let me break it down for you. Gengar is in UU, 1 because it doesn't get as Mega, but 2 because it lost Levitate. It's got Curse Body now. So its prevalence, like the problem with Gengar is it has no setup, right? It can't go nasty plot. It has to just rely on its base special attack, base speed, which are good, but not enough to beat in the OU metagame anymore. But I do agree. I think Gengar is just like a solid choice in UU. Crocodile to me has always been one that sticks out. Its 92 speed might look a bit odd, but its typing is really cool. Ground Dark actually hits a lot. If you haven't ever looked at that. Plus, it gets access to things like Fire Fang. I think it gets Ice Fang and Thunder Fang, too. It gets Stone Edge, Earthquake, Knockoff, which is really powerful. Use this thing Bandit or Choice Scarf. It does a lot of work. And if you really want to look at the things that it can hit, this can clean up a lot of Pokemon. I think Choice Scarf,
especially
Crocodile...
with Moxie.
What's that?
Especially with Moxie.
That's the other thing, too, is as it's cleaning up with Scarf, it keeps boosting itself up, and it gets worse and worse the more it can stay in. Really, I am a big fan of Crocodile in this pool. I'm going to say Starmie. I think Starmie is very valuable in UU. As a UU pickup, just because the other thing you have to think about is not just power, but also the tiering that it's in, because now we've moved away from OU. Obviously, you're going to OU for power. You're not going to OU because you're going to get a really sick PU pick afterwards. No one's doing that. But if you're going to be picking lower, or if you're going to be looking for a lower pick, Starmie pulls a lot of good weight because the value of it being in UU can still get you something even with an NURU that can be fairly good, or you can pivot into that and make sure that, you know what, you got a natural cure Pokemon that's got a respectable special attack, very respectable speed, and you're good to go. Slowbro is also up here, although I don't know if I'd rate it as high as the Mega. The Mega Slowbro can catch some people off guard. I would argue it's a noob stomper. Those who don't have a lot of, toxic users, or because you can't crit the thing. So you either have to set up on it and have a wall breaker, set up on it or have a wall breaker, or know how to stall it out. So it could kind of get some cheese kills here and there. And I think, just to go off away from the obvious Groudon, Beedrill, whatever, Meloetta. Normal Psychic is a very interesting typing, because Ghost gets shut down, which is not a big deal. It's not as big of a deal as the fact that Meloetta has good stats. Specs hurts. I would say lose Lele. If you lose Lele, Meloetta is a good alternative. It doesn't have the thing, but it's a good Psychic type if you're looking to find something. This is where we're talking about ranking and tiering and putting them in kind of similar situations here. It can set up with Calm Mind. It can go Pirouette form if you want that. If you want to talk literally flexibility, it's 2 Pokemon in 1 using Relic Song. So, consider that when you're looking at the UU tier, because there is Mega Manectric in there too, and Mega Beedrill to give you your good speed and momentum type of thing. You want a Volt Turn team right there, boop. You got those two right there. Celebi, there's just so many you could talk about. And your Haxorus has really good coverage. It's got the Poison Jab to help it out quite a bit.
No, yeah, it can do a really nasty Poison Jab. It honestly, if I remember right, its Poison Jab can knock out just about any fairy type that would destroy it.
It's got enough special attack, I think, to take out pretty much anything. Or after 1 DD, it's got enough physical attack. Or it goes DD or Swords Dance, and it's going to kill it.
Exactly.
Because 97 speed with Swords, 97 speed kind of really kills it from being incredibly fantastic. But, this thing's rocking, I think, 140 attack?
Haxorus it's pretty high up there.
Haxorus is 147 attack. 147. I love Haxorus. Crazy. One of my favorite Gen 5 pokes.
Oh, I just noticed something's in here.
What is it? What is it?
Houndoom.
Houndoom is in here, yes.
It could come back. It could come back for a second time in a row.
Now, Gamma, funny that you brought up Zeraora, because there's another Zed Pokemon there named Zerork.
True.
Now, do you think... First of all, Zerork, I think, was an RU at some point. Now it's moved up to UU, so... Do you think it's valued as a UU poke, despite the fact, it could get cheesy kills, because that's what Zerork is really good at, but do you think Zerork has enough value in itself between its very balanced high attack and special attack, and good speed? Do you think that it would be worth as something to consider as a UU pick, if given?
Alright, when it comes to Zerork, I feel that it's going to be really good when it comes to mind games in which Pokemon that it ends up illusioning into. Hmm? So you can mess with your opponent that way. I think it covers most bases with decent dark moves. It's got Flamethrower. Does it have Gunk Shot? I think it has.
Yes, it does have Gunk Shot.
Yeah, it's got Gunk Shot. So there's a high chance that it could knock out any of the fairy types that are going to be going after it. And just in general, it's great with the mind games. Like I was saying, you can mess with your opponents and kind of knock them off their feet for a second.
It does not get Gunk Shot, I believe. It gets Sludge Bomb. Doesn't matter. It gets Sludge Bomb. Who cares? It's even better.
So it can take out a decent amount of the fairy types that are there. I think at least. So it's got good coverage.
It's RUBL, which is why it ended up in UU. Mm-hmm. It's kind of unfortunate because it's just leaving RU, I suppose, because it had a lot of great typing to destroy a lot of things in the RU tier. I don't exactly know because I don't play the game very often or at all. But it's as a Pokemon in itself, its stats are okay. It's got the 105 speed, it's got the 120 special attack, 105 attack, so it could be very flexible with what you do. You could disguise it as a lot of different things, which could throw people off. Like the moveset and everything as well helps. I don't know if it would be better than some of the really powerful, has a better roll type of Pokemon in UU, but if it's left open, it's most certainly that, I would say, above average choice that you can go for if you're running out of choices in UU and it's not picked up. So, I'm super enjoying. I think it's going to be cool.
It's definitely a decent pick, and I look forward to seeing somebody hopefully pick that up and make the most out of it.
And see how well their illusion strategies actually work. How well they can pull a Copperfield.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep moving. NU let's blast through this because we're getting to the point where there's still good options, but there's also Hariyama. So let's talk NU. What stands out to you when you're looking at maybe Pokemon that stand out for their tier and be like, wow, this Pokemon used to be venerated as a god Frisian, and now it's fallen to this tier. Frisian. Excuse me, sorry, what's going on with you? What are you seeing?
All right.
Frisian,
There are a
sorry.
couple that come. Oh my god. I'm gonna let you take that cold you got over there when the time is right. Serena
Yes.
is a great Pokemon, especially when it comes to priority because of that Queenly Majesty, just shutting it down. It's got decent moves. It's got Power Whip. It's got High Jump Kick.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Trop
got
Kick. Trop Kick's actually good.
It's got Trop Kick. It's got Rapid Spin too.
Rapid Spin. Doesn't it also
You know,
does it have U-turn? I can't remember.
Yes, I think it does.
Keep going. Go.
All right, but
Yes,
yeah.
it does. Yes, it does.
So it gets U-turn. It's got a decent move pool. It's got decent stats. I think it can hold its own there. There's also potential for a Trick Room team, I think, with Dhelmise being so slow. Anchor Shot with the steel. I think the ability is called Steelworker or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So it gets the steel stab technically, and it's got decent moves. It's also got Power Whip. It's got ghost moves. It's got decent coverage. It's got ghost moves. Yeah, I know.
It's got ghost moves. It's a ghost type. Dang.
It's a ghost. Dhelmise is a ghost and grass type, and it's got moves ghost and grass.
Actually, I am a huge fan of Choice Band Dhelmise. I do think in the right situations, it's a really good wall breaker because of the triple stab.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like the most optimal triple stab, it hits hard no matter what it's using, which is great.
Yeah, if you can get it going in a Trick Room team, like if you can get a Trick Room team going throughout this whole thing, that's definitely one you want to pick up because that can knock some Pokemon down pretty hard.
Yep.
Let's see what else is there. Comfey is not really good in singles. I know it's not that like it's not everybody's like vision of a strong Pokemon. I feel like Emboar has some decent moves that it could do some decent damage with. Like especially with Reckless, it's got Wild Charge, it's got Flame Charge or whatever it's called. It's got all those moves that work well with it. Does it have Rocket? I don't know.
It does get Head Smash.
Head Smash?
Not Head
That's
Smash.
What I'm thinking of. Yeah.
The one that Tyrantrum uses and Rampardos. Is that Head Smash? Yeah, Head Charge is beautiful. Yeah. It's Head Smash. Yeah.
Yeah, but Emboar is definitely one to look out for. I think
with Reckless,
it can. Yeah, exactly. It can knock somebody off their feet. That's for sure. Poor old Blastoise and you. That would be a nice mega for somebody to pick up. It could definitely change the tide on a battle with that Mega Launcher damage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get some Aura Sphere going on, some Hydro Pump.
I mean, it's unfortunate that Mega Blastoise compared to the other Megas you could get in this tournament, like looking at between the two pools, to really use Mega Blastoise is a statement that Mega Blastoise can take the hits that beats your team, that beats the opponent's team, right? Or just a literal flex, right? Maybe you only get one Mega and it's Blastoise. But, you know, it's not terrible. It's got the bulk to make it work, and I think it's okay as a result. There's an argument to be made about the power of being able to boost up Water Pulse, Aura Sphere, Dragon Pulse, and just deliver a little more damage that way. However, it's kind of good in the tier, not so much good in the grand scheme of things. But you never know.
It's possible, but you know what? One just popped out to me. Actually, Snorlax is a big one. It's a huge tank. It can do some decent damage. It's got decent strategies with it. It can one specific strategy that comes to mind. I won't give everybody what else it can do. Just like I was saying, I think I said with you earlier, actually tonight. Snorlax gets Recycle and Gluttony. It can just keep eating one of those berries that gives half the health or a little more than half or something like that.
Half 50%.
It can just keep recycling it, and it can drop. I think it drops Toxic. I think it can stall out. It can do some decent damage with Return. or Giga Impact, or actually, you could even throw a Z move on it and just do Giga Impact. Get that pulverizing pancake if you really wanted to. Like, there's a lot of things you could do with it.
I think the most popular one is Body Slam. I think not Return, because it could just be that big pain. I believe, even though Return does more damage,
the para.
It's the I think it's the para chance, because then you can run it with Curse Lax, and then just be a giant pain in their side while you're kind of stalling it out. And most times, I believe, if you can run them offensive with Crunch, Fire Punch, and I think it was still Body Slam over Return, if I recall correctly, just because the drop in damage is kind of worth it for Snorlax in exchange for that 30% chance to para. But you can run it with decent, really, really good coverage. I think it even gets Earthquake. I would have hoped so. The thing just slaps its belly and you create
it does.
A 9.7 on the Richter scale. But
yeah,
it could do good things. It just kind of suffers from 4 move syndrome. You know, you wish it could Curse Lax and have 4 coverage moves because the thing would destroy. But its bulkiness comes really from its HP, and you're right, that Agua Berry Strat, or the Berry Strat, where it can keep healing with Gluttony and Stall Out, would be good.
And even something interesting.
Yeah. I'll keep it kind of short with the ones that I'm looking at. Some things to consider. Tyrantrum, always a solid pick. The Rock Dragon typing is a decent typing, but it's more about the fact that it gets DD, it gets Head Smash, I believe, with Rockhead, so the thing just destroys with Choice Band. It's a powerhouse because it also has Strong Jaw, so it can use Ice Fang and get a boost on it, which I believe is the most common one, because then you can also use it with Crunch. So Crunch and Ice Fang, similar to what you'd see with Mega Sharpedo, except Tyrantrum. And it's painful. It's really good to get. Serena, I completely agree with you. Serena's just a really good Pokemon to stop priority, and also just brings a lot of utility to your team. Seismitoad is a good water type, does get Water Absorb, also gets the Swift Swim if you want it or to make it offensive, which it can do. Life Orb, but Swift Swim is pretty solid. But it is a good Stealth Rock supporter, does a decent amount of damage, can run mixed sets similar to Gastrodon, and it overall gives you a good lead. Similar to that, I want to say similar to that in Nidoqueen, although Nidoqueen is, I don't know, Nidoqueen is good. It's still good at setting up. I'd have to compare it. I guess it come down to typing, but I'd probably take Seismitoad a little bit more of a Nidoqueen, depending on what my team looks like. But you got Seismitoad. Kingdra's a good choice Spexer. You know, yes, Sniper was nerfed, so it doesn't do as much damage anymore on crit, but it still hurts. I would love to see that Focus Energy set come back. That was really fun to watch. And then there's, some notables. Mesprit unfortunately got shoved up to NU. So it was a PU poke 2 days before I put out the pools. And I was like, oh man, Mesprit's an easy pickup in PU. And now it goes to NU, and I look at it go, there's Meloetta, and there's Lele, and there's a lot of other psychic types I'd rather grab.
Yeah.
This is when you get down there. Machamp, and we can keep going on all these, but I think we've brought up some interesting ones. No, Machamp's great. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But I think everyone kind of knows what Machamp does. You either got your dynamic punch, you're in the D punch, or
you're always in the no guard. It's not even.
Well, no, you can actually do Guts close combat. That works too. Flame Orb Guts close combat does work. It does a lot of damage actually. You more or less, I think you go dynamic punch more on the Assault Vest sets, more of the bulky sets, similar to why you go Body Slam on Snorlax sort of thing. Okay, we gotta keep piling through, man. We're too analytical. We're so smart.
We need to stop thinking about things and just run through it.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's go into PU, man, quickly. All I need you to do is close your eyes.
All right.
Close your eyes, open your eye, take your finger, point to the screen, and tell me what Pokemon you end up in PU. Go.
Cryogonal.
Okay, Cryogonal's a good call, though. Go for that, man.
Rapid Spin, Freeze Dry, and that's about it. That's all I really care about Cryogonal.
It gets Recover. It gets Screens.
I guess.
It's a good special wall, man. I've used Cryogonal to great success.
There's a Pokemon that just popped out to me.
Oh.
This whole pool is a perfect setup for a rain team.
Oh.
Because Ludicolo's right there.
Ludicolo.
Freaking Colo.
Oh.
Can do some damage.
Kabutops
especially if that's Swiss Swim.
Oh, I forgot about Kabutops in this list of rain.
Yeah, Kabutops is there too. See?
There's so many rain Pokemon in this thing. It's disgusting.
If somebody does not make a rain team, I will be surprised.
It's right there. Because
it's literally there for you to grab.
Because you're not going to grab 6 sweepers or 5 sweepers and a Pelipper, but reason why I also brought up Scizor is I see Scizor being very well with Pelipper as well as Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn was a big rain Pokemon. But yeah, you got Ludicolo as your grass type in there. It's a pretty good Pokemon. The other nice thing about Ludicolo is it can be self-sufficient setting up Rain Dance, because you've already got Giga Drain, Hydro Pump, and Ice Beam. So you're good.
Yeah.
That's your coverage right there. You don't need to do anything else if you don't want to. It's a very self-sufficient poke, similar to Kabutops, where we could do the same thing just on the physical side with Stone Edge.
Yeah.
And Liquidation.
I just noticed something.
Oh, yes?
One of our Show Me Your Moveset Pokemon is here.
Oh.
Lurantis.
Oh.
It's in PU.
Oh, moving on.
I would love to see somebody pull that off.
No, I want to see someone pull off Mischievous, man. Let's get that Mischievous swag in here. Give me some Sawsbuck. Okay. We've got Regirock. Regirock is an okay setup. It can be offensive and do some damage. Dusknoir in the right situations can do some stuff. Dodrio can hurt. It did recently get Jump Kick. Oh, baby. Quillfish. Actually, Quillfish, keep in mind, Intimidate does have D-Bond, does have Explosion, does have Thunder Wave, does have Spikes. The thing does bring a fair amount of utility. I would not underestimate the water poison typing on it either. It's like a really bad Toxapex, but it can still do stuff in its own way. So don't underestimate that. And shout-outs to Mr. Sweet D, who's obsessed with Young Turtonator. Young Turt. Turtonator is so sad, but so glad to be in the Pro Pokeball. And I'm not going to bring up Regenerator because we're going to see Regenerator in pool number 2.
Was that the transition to pool number 2?
Yeah.
Was that?
We're gonna skip over Bibarel, Aurorus, Abomas, Snowferocene.
Oh, we're skipping over Caracosta even with that Shell Smash?
Just go to pool 2. Welcome to pool number 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my
and
goodness.
that was a great cut over to pool number 2. Gamma?
Yes.
I like pool number 2. Do you know why I like pool number 2?
Because there's a lot of strong Pokemons here.
I wish I could just build a team of 12 from pool number 2.
That's not how this works.
I know. My tournament sucks. But, you know what doesn't suck is, this pool to me screams so many great centralizing Pokemon that you can build around. Great defensive cores popping up everywhere. And I'm talking Regenerator core beyond imagining. I think there's like 6 Regenerators in here, or like 8 Regenerators and 9 Regenerators in this entire Pro Pokeball. It's a lot of power, but there is a lot to grab in this. Bans, in my opinion, in this particular pool will be paramount because there's so much power. You really need to identify, 1, what is the most powerful in the tournament, but also 2, what is going to mess you over. Because you let something slip and you're in a bad position where someone picks stuff over you, I honestly think you can lose in draft and pool 2. I'm under that huge impression. There's like so much here. It doesn't look it looks just so, the names are so celebrity-like. It's ludicrous. Gamma, give me your top 3 in OU.
All right, top 3 in OU. Let's go. I'm ready.
Let's see if you can piece this together because I don't freaking know. And
right,
I'm going to tell you right now, skip Lando.
Yeah.
Skip Lando T. No one wants to listen to Lando T.
I was literally just about
Thank
to say,
you.
first off, I guess Landers, because Landers
Skip it. Just skip it. We don't care. Next.
All right, first thing would probably be Tapu Koko, just
Okay.
because that electric terrain. It's nice to not be able to. It's nice to have like a little back burner of not being able to go to sleep. So it shuts down rest Pokemon. It shuts down sleep moves, whatnot. It's just a strong Pokemon altogether. It's got Volt Switch, so it can swap out if it needs to.
Which I believe gets a damage bonus too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, it gets the damage bonus because of the terrain, right?
I believe so, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's a strong bonus though, if I remember correctly.
I believe it's only. Oh, it's 50%. Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Frick.
It's
that's
a lot.
base. That's base
50% plus stab.
Plus stab. So yeah, so that's base 150. Hold on. 70 times stab is 105 times stab again. 152.5. Mother of God, that's powerful. Also gets U-turn.
Yeah, actually, the thing is, when it comes to choosing for Tapu Koko, it does have decent stats, but its attack stat is a lot higher than its special attack, if I remember correctly.
It does get Wild Charge.
Yes, which I've seen people use.
Yes.
Sometimes successfully. There's also, let's see, what else would there be? I'm gonna go on to the second Pokemon, and that would be, honestly, I think Excadrill is gonna come back because Excadrill is a pretty beefy Pokemon.
Well, do you see the season 1 combo in there? Champions combo. Hippowdon was in pool number 1.
Just a wee bit, just a tiny bit. But yeah, Excadrill, just because it's a huge pain. The speed's pretty decent on it. It's got rapid spin. It's got good stab moves.
Wow, sound more depressed about it.
Listen, man, I see these Pokemon so often, and it just hurts my feelings to talk about them anymore.
This is a meta pool, you're right. This is a very meta pool.
Yeah, like the reason I didn't even want to talk about Landers is because I can't stand that thing, and
Nobody
I hate
wants
it,
to
and I
talk
hope
about
it goes. I hope it doesn't come back in Gen 8. That's how much I hate it.
I'm sure the genies are dead in Gen 8.
I hope half this list doesn't make it.
Wow. Right. Yo, I'm going to be so sad when I can't add a pincer to my list.
Yeah, that's going to suck, man.
I can't just store it away in box number 16 and name it useless. Minus its megaform.
Alright, I guess other than Excadrill, number 3 would probably be Celesteela, because Celesteela is a really nice tank. You know, it's got the immunity to ground, it can drop a Leech Seed, it can protect, it can stall out Toxic, all that stuff. It's a really good Pokemon, I think. I think it's a Pokemon you should watch out for.
Could you say a Celesteela Blissey could be the new Skarmbliss of this Season 5?
I think it very well could be.
I think it'd be better too because of the Leech Seed as well as I don't know. I've wanted to try Celesteela. I honestly it does better sometimes offensively. I've seen it go offensive too because its Beast Boost gives it a special attack boost if I recall. It's a defensive Pokemon, but it gets what does it get when it gets? Let me see.
Yeah, I thought it was defense, but
no, its special attack is the highest. It's so weird because it gets like Fire Blast, Air Slash.
Yeah,
like
Air Slash is a big
moves.
Yeah.
The thing is a monster.
It's you could say it's a beast. If you guys can't tell, we're just looking into each other's eyes at this point.
No, we're
Noobs
not.
So disappointed
you're looking to the left. Your left, my right. And I'm
you're over here. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do. I honestly think that these Pokemon, like I said, now we're looking at the synergies and the combos, and you're looking at basic cores that you could build with arguably better or different Pokemon that'll pretty much fill the same role. So, okay, my 3, and I'm gonna put this at number 1 because of how much it slacked everybody last season. Mew. If you literally want flexible, Mew is that yoga instructor that's been going for 40 years. That's flexible, dude.
It can literally do any move.
It could do basically. Pretty much. It
can learn any TM.
Yes, it could fulfill multiple roles of the same moveset. It can go Nasty Plot with a Will-O-Wisp. It can bring Defog with offense. It can go straight defense and be a healer with Heal Bell. The thing is really good. Now, granted, base stats are only 100 across the board. That's what makes it worse. No, I'm kidding. It's a very average Pokemon, but paired with other... No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. It's a really strong Pokemon, and paired with other great things, makes it super incredibly strong. So if I see a Heatran Mew, I'm going to cry again. And I will weep and quit my own tournament as a commentator, and I'll find someone else to do it. I hope Tim is getting his commentary pants on, because I want Timberwolf to take this over. He's listening. I'm just saying. Or shout-outs to anyone in the Pokemon VGC community who ends up coming across this podcast and has waited here for almost 2 hours. I don't know. I think we've gone for 2 hours. But
something like that.
Please take this over, because I don't want to watch that. Mew is really good. Bannable... I'm sure it's going to get banned because of the trauma from Season 4. Just because of the trauma of Season 4. I'm putting coaches into this. I'm not just saying it. I would still ban it just because its flexibility is a little too disgusting. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, because this is really tough, because there's a lot that stands out, but I think personally the way that I know that I play, just on a skill level, I would want to take away something that would keep me guessing rather than something that would be super, super, super just strong in its own right. But perspective, go back to the Pisa pooling. This is a tough one, but I'm pretty sure I should say Mew is pretty much up there. I don't know how to use this Pokemon very well, but I'm going to say Megiarna. I've heard that this thing is very good with Flare Cannon, and it gets Soul Heart, which buffs up its special attack on kill.
Plus Shift Gear.
So it can go physical as well. Oh, no, I think it just uses that for speed, right?
Yeah, it uses it for speed.
Yeah, and I think it also gets U-turn if I forget. No, it gets Volt Switch. Most of them are running it defensive with Volt Switch, or they run it offensively with the Flare Cannon because it gets the special attack, one special attack back, and stuff like that. But it's typing Steel Fairy. Like, what more do you want? The thing blocks its poison weakness. It reduces its fire weak. No, Fairy doesn't resist fire. I keep forgetting that. My bad. But
fire resist Fairy.
Its typing can be very good, taking out other fairy types. Fairy is just a good stat, and is good typing in general. Megiarna brings some great stats to be offensive. I love it. I've never used it, but I'm sure it won't make it through. So, my third one. First of all, before I go to my third one, I want to make a special shout out to Tapu Bulu. For those who say Tapu Bulu is not good, go watch some OU battles and go watch my Creeper commentaries. Shameless plug. Number 3. Just because I've never seen it enter this pool, Hoopa Unbound. I want Hoopa. Now, yes, it's times 4 week to bug. Yes, it gets absolutely destroyed by anything that hits it first. Have you ever looked at Hoopa Unbound's stats?
No, I looked at its face and it's scary.
Okay, Gamma.
Yes.
80 speed. So it's like, okay, yeah. 160 attack, 170 special attack. Scarf that baby.
Yeah. That's something that could mow somebody down.
Now, its ability is Magician, so it doesn't really get the number 1 ability you're going to want to use, because you want to give it some kind of boost. Choice Specs, Choice Band, Choice Scarf. I like this thing's choiced. It also gets access to Calm Mind, D-Bond. It could be a mixed attacker, no problem. And it gets, obviously, Psychic Darkman. Like, the stab is going to be ridiculous. Plus, its ultimate move, Hyperspace Fury. Base 100, lowers defense by 1, breaks Protect. This is your wall breaker of choice. Now, having said that, I don't know if you run... I think you could run Hyperspace Fury with Knockoff, because Knockoff is going to get you a lot of value as well. But this kills your fairies with Gunk Shot. This kills your Pokemon setting up. It gets Power Up Punch. Does it get Swords Dance? It doesn't get Swords Dance. It could be defensive. It's got Trick. It's got Thunder Wave. It's got Taunt. It's a monster. It gets Trick Room. You can make this a Trick Room killer. Like...
There you go.
I don't know if it's going to get picked up or kept in the tournament, but this thing gets so much.
I could see it sliding through.
It gets swagger. No.
It could team up with Delmise from the other pool, do a Trick Room team, coverage.
To be fair, you could theorize a Crawdot, Delmise, Hoopa Unbound Trick Room team, right? You could do it. No, I don't think Porygon 2 made the cut this time, but you can find some decent... Reuniclus is in here too. That's a fantastic trick room. I believe Kofagrigus almost made it in. Yes, we're saying 5. Chandelure would do as well. Zero speed Chandelure could do as well. But having said that, there's a bunch of ghosts and dark and psychic that we're using. But you have that option. Here comes the flexibility part, right? Let's say somebody hates it, but if you're building something around that kind of style, there's a lot of options in 12 Pokemon. You can do it. It's a little bit polarizing, but realize Diggersby, though, is also here, and Trick Room would be really nice for him, too. Just somebody do Trick Room again. It was really cool to watch.
Diggersby, though.
Diggersby, though? Actually, no. Not Diggersby, Mawile. Mawile Trick Room. Oh, my God, because Mega is OU. So...
Okay.
You got Megiarna.
Somebody needs to do a Trick Room team. If I don't see Trick Room, and if I don't see a Rain team in this ProPokeBowl, I will be so disappointed.
Dude, there's so many things with Trick... Now that I'm looking at it, there's so many things with Trick Room. There's... Where to go? Aggron. There's Azumarill. There's... you know that guy?
There's Muck.
Alolan... I was going to say Alolan Muck. I lost that. Yeah, Alolan Muck.
Sorry.
No, man. Kofagrigus, like...
Oh, yeah.
The noises should emphasize the amount of love I have for Trick Room and how I failed as a child not being able to play Trick Room well enough. Okay, so have we pretty much... So, in my opinion, this OU is fairly stacked. We didn't even mention the rest of the powerhouses that we don't think are going to exist. I think
we'll be here all night if we do.
Diggersby most likely exists. Mimikyu is a very polarizing Pokemon. People will usually ban it just because they don't know how to manage it, but it is a fairly manageable Pokemon understanding. Salamence can do work, but there's a lot of other dragon options you can find other places. Landoti is never going to exist ever in my ProPokeBowl. Gyarados is passable. Gliscor is really good. Conkeldurr is going to stay. Most likely it's not going to get banned. I don't see it getting banned, but it could be wrong. It did win a tournament. Magnezone, very powerful Pokemon if you're looking at a lot of Steel types. Like, there's just... We could talk about Tapu Fini. There's so many things to talk about. Tyranitar exists with freaking Excadrill and Diggersby, though. You got Hippowdon on the other pool. Serperior is super good, too, for finishing off teams. Mega Pinsir could do its own thing. Like, there's so much. Let's go to Yu. I don't want to talk about it. This is... I need to look at something that... Yeah, instead of every Pokemon being good, let's talk about everything but one being good in this tier.
Okay.
Go, Gamma. Give me your hot takes.
All right. Well, first one that pops into my mind would be Durant.
Oh, Kevin
Durant. Gonna get that hustle Hone Claws Durant.
Oh, you're a Hone Claws lover?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
You want to be able to hit those moves, noob. if it's 80% accuracy, you're never going to hit it because you have luck like me.
Yes, but have you ever heard of our Lord and Savior Choice Band Adam and Dunsparce? Or not Dunsparce, Durant. Damn it, I'm too used to Dunsparce.
That seems ungodly. Please never bring that up to me.
Gen 6 RU. Imagine that. 109 speed. Choice Band Adamant Durant.
Ugh.
It got banned for that. On top of Home Claws, but
I can see why.
It's a little good.
Just a bit.
It's like a scissor that got stunted in growth, but is just like, I am now an ant, and just went on a murder spree because it's no longer a scissor.
Yeah, but only 80% of the Pokemon it went after actually died.
It wanted to be Edward, but it became a Kevin. Do you get that reference?
I think I did.
Edward Scissorhands, and now it's Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh, yay. Okay, keep going. Sorry, I cut you off.
Klefki. Klefki
Close.
is a good setup Pokemon.
Fantastic setup Pokemon.
Yeah, no, especially it's got spikes. It has Stealth Rock too, right?
No.
I think so. Pretty sure. No,
nope.
doesn't.
Spikes.
No.
It has spikes, screens.
Spikes,
Thunderwave.
screens, Magnerise if you really wanted to do that.
Yep. Partially the reason I think why I dropped one because it just doesn't fit in the metas more, but the other thing is dark types don't get hit by Prankster anymore. So this thing can get really shut down, so I think you have to start running Draining Kiss just to have, or Dazzling Gleam or whatever people use to make sure that you could do something, rather than just being that full setup that we used to see.
Yeah, I gotcha. What else is there? Oh, there's Reuniclus. We were talking about that Trick Room team. Reuniclus got some good moves. It'd be really nice to have that Trick Room setup on it.
Do you want to bring up the AA that's going to send people to AA, or should I?
I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to let you have the fun on that one.
Okay. There's a Lomamole and a Moongus both in the same pool. Now.
Regenerator City!
Now, if you also look, there's Slowking and NURU. There's Slowbro back in the other pool of UU. There's Corsola, which has Regenerator. There's Tangela in PU Pool 1 that has Regenerator. Reuniclus can have Regenerator. The only thing we're mixing is Toxapex, and we could have a full Regenerator thing. That would be better. Alomomola and Moongus is very easy to set up on, though. If you have the right Pokemon, they could try and stall you out, but Wall Breakers are going to destroy these things. They're very, very difficult to get through, but building a heavily offensive team just smashes their faces in is going to do the best for you. That doesn't make it any less obnoxious if you don't get a chance to draft something that can beat these things. Cryogonal suddenly gets value. Got him.
True. Yeah, no,
I'm just saying.
Something that could be done.
What's your opinion on Little Muck?
I like its ability. I feel that its ability is pretty strong.
Which one? Just out of curiosity. Poison Touch or Power of Alchemy?
Power of Alchemy.
What does that do again?
Because if I remember right, Power of Alchemy takes the fainted Pokemon's ability, if I remember correctly.
Copies the ability of an ally that faints, so that's a VGC.
Oh, wait, never mind.
It will run Poison Touch.
Take it back. Yeah, Poison Touch then. No, I take it back. No, forget Alolan Muck. It's garbage.
What? No.
No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
Get out of here.
No, the typing's amazing, and I feel that its moves are pretty strong. It's got the Poison Jab, all that good physical move set. You know, I feel like it's a solid Pokemon pick, and if you can pick it up, go for it.
I think also big noticeables, Hydreigon, Entei, Terrakion, these nice offensive Pokemon that bring a lot of power, just a lot of raw, I would say, wall-breaking power. I love Hydreigon as a wall breaker, either as Life Orb or Choice Specs, or even Choice Scarf, just to literally rain Dracos down on people and put a lot of pressure down on them. It's good to see my boy Cobalion moving back up into the UU metagame. I don't know in a mixed tier if it's going to be worth it per se, considering especially the amount of power you can find throughout these pools. Not saying that it's bad and it's not worth picking up, but it would have been much better if it remained in RU. But now that it's moving up to UU, it's a bit of a, you're going to have to make some room for it if you can fit it. Other notables, Tentacruel, Nihilego is pretty awesome. Nidoking is a fantastic offensive Pokemon. Mienshao, great for switching. Gamma, you didn't say you didn't like a lot of ice offensive Pokemon. Did you look at my boy Mamoswine making it into the ProPokeBowl?
Yeah, I did, and I'm still not sold on that.
Really?
I mean, Avalanche is alright,
Avalanche.
I guess.
What are you talking about, Avalanche?
Wait, no, it's not Avalanche.
You're thinking of Avalugg.
Yeah, I am,
Mamoswine
aren't
is
I?
Icicle Crash, or Icicle Spear, or Ice Shard.
Mostly Ice Shard. I know it's
Depends.
banded most of the time.
It can be banded. It can also be Life Orb.
It could be solid. It could be a solid Pokemon.
I think the fact that it's offensive typing can even remedy things like Lando T. I'd love to pick Mamoswine up. Oh, it'd be so good. Just put some stats in it to take a hit from it. Just be like, bye, and just destroy it. Easy. Or even, you know what? I would white herb that thing. I'd white herb Mammoth Swine just to destroy Lando T. But that's just me. I'm vindictive against Lando Ts. I'm a Gen 5 player. I'm vindictive. I just hate it. It's just my style. But, again, not a lot of notables. Mega Aerodactyl might not have the greatest moveset per se, but it still gets a lot of power. Very fast Pokemon. Aerodactyl is a phenomenal suicide setup. Absol is very flexible on both physical and the special side, especially when it goes Mega. There's a lot of things that can go on here. Lucario got access to Meteor Mash, so it suddenly has a better Steel Stab. A lot, and we haven't even talked about everything else, and Volcanion is in there. We haven't even talked about that, which is a fairly good Pokemon. So, oh man, keep going down. And you are you. Get us down to some place where we don't have to talk about every Pokemon.
Barbaracle, I guess.
Hey, Barbaracle got better with Liquidation.
It did, especially with it has Shell Smash, right?
Liquidation.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does. It's a Shell Smash Liquidate.
Shell Smash, Liquidation. Was it rock? What?
Stone Edge.
Rock movement. Yeah, Stone Edge. And then I guess Earthquake.
No, I believe.
I'm trying to remember the moveset that I always see on it.
Barbaracle used to. The only thing that really made Barbaracle fantastic was actually Liquidation, because it would have to rely on Razor Shell, because it didn't get Earthquake.
Oh,
or Waterfall. So it would run Brick Break, I think it could be. Depending on where you go with it, it would be most likely Earthquake. Oh, it's Cross Chop.
Ew, why?
Because it has two hands.
I guess.
Cross Chop's a really good attack. It's a very, very good attack.
I don't know. I'm gonna go one more down. Cloyster's another big pick that I could see working out for people, especially with Skill Link. It's freaking Icicle Spear, Rock Blast, Rapid Spin, Shell Smash, all these different moves. There's a lot of utility with not utility. There's a lot of flexibility you can do with Cloyster, I think.
I think people forget that Cloyster has 180 defense, and despite the fact its typing is not phenomenal, it could still be a Spikes Explosion setup. It can still do the trick. Yeah, it can still do the Spikes Explosion. It could do Spikes Explosion. It still brings Skill Link, so Rock Blast, Icicle Spear can still break down some pokes. If I recall, I believe what is it? Icicle Spear, Toxic, Spikes Explosion, I think is the moveset that is a moveset you can do. But I mean, it comes with a lot of decent stuff. I think it's down there because the metagame has moved on from those types of setups, and it's still good though. It can still do something if you're in a pinch and you just want to have that setup sweeper that can come in and clean up afterwards.
One that just popped out to me. Tony's other boy, Incineroar is in NURU. This is a tragedy.
No, it's not.
Because that Pokemon, it gets Intimidate.
Oh, so does Quillfish.
Leave Quillfish alone. No, Incineroar, it's got Darkest Lariat, which is straight up ignores stat changes, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
It's got Flare Blitz. U-turn.
I don't know if you go that over a knockoff though. It would still be
I guess in the singles you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like its attacks decent enough to be able to pull that off. I don't know. That's just what came to mind personally. Metagross is there, which is disgusting. Get it away from me. You could say it's gross, but for real though.
It's gross in the meta.
Yeah, it is. It's disgusting. It can it mega? No, it can't mega.
It cannot. Cannot mega.
Because it's Ubers. Because it's busted. And Metagross, that attack is just gross. I can't even specify on this one. Just take me away, noob.
It's the fact that it gets really good dual stab, Agiligoross, bullet punch. It can carry through good coverage. I don't like it played well. It's just a really good Pokemon to pick up in RU. Like it's another one of those Pokemon where it's in a lower tier and as a result gives you really good flex, similar to like I said with Starmie. Just really good flex to bring in another average or above average ranked Pokemon, but overall like the Pokemon is good. So they can even go special. That's a thing.
True.
For me, Galvantula sticks out. Sticky Web.
Oh yeah, plus Compound Eyes.
Compound Eyes dropping those thunders. I think one thing that we can kind of point out is Remember all those water types that we saw? Remember all those grass types that we saw? This thing's got the stab to kind of manage it, and we haven't seen a lot of electric types in this tournament.
Yeah, true.
Like, there's no Zapdos. There's Coco, but there's no Zapdos. Xurkitree is in here, but those are all OU picks, and I think if you're looking for something to bring a little bit of electric stab, this and Electros, which we'll talk about in PU, they're both here, and they can kind of help you out. So I give great props to Galvantula. Very solid Pokemon. It's got enough stats to make it offensive, make it a good setup, kind of focus sash lead, get as much damage as it can done. Its dual stab is redonkulous, and I don't think you can overlook that. You have, Necrozma. Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, wait.
You can do stuff, but you need
is Ultra Necrozma banned?
Of course. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Okay?
I know. I can tell.
There's a reason I ask. I'm not the only one who can ask, okay?
It's true. No. Necrozma has to exist in its plain form, but it's got, I think, access to actually Shift Gear or Rock. No, it has Rock Polish. It has Calm Mind. It could do things. It's just the fact that it's just Psychic type that kind of shoves it all the way down. There are better things that could do better than it. But it's still here if you're kind of looking for that Psychic in, if you don't get something like Ridiculous. Slowking is here. Sigilif. Again, Wall Breakers will destroy it. If you get it set up, good for you. Great. Like, it'll be a good asset to you. Looking for good defensive Pokemon, Gigalith is here. You also have Weezing. I think Weezing is an underrated physical wall. It gets access to... Well, I don't think it's underrated, but it might be overlooked, and I highly suggest you look at something that gets, again, Debon, but also Clear Smog. It comes with Will-O-Wisp. It can come with very good special attacks, such as Fire Blast and Sludge Bomb. It's a good cover for everything you're trying to do if you need that type of coverage. Also takes on fairies very well if it's not Lele. It takes on fairies quite well. Actually, I like Weezing against Bulu. I think that would be really good because I don't think Bulu could touch it. Play Rough, Horn Leech, Superpower doesn't touch it. So if you're worried about that, hey, look, pick up Weezing or something like that. It does the trick.
Nobody's worried about Bulu.
Why is nobody worried about Bulu? Is good, man.
Bulu bricks, man.
What do you mean Bulu bricks?
Bulu is not that good. I don't see what you see in Bulu, man. Like, its ability heals the other Pokemon if it's touching the ground.
That's minuscule compared to the Bulu just setting up and murdering. It might not work in this case, considering that you could, like we've said, there's a lot of flexibility to put poison moves on things. But even again, we shouldn't be restricting ourselves to, hey, it has poison moves. Suddenly this Pokemon's not usable, because then Scizor would never get used. But
yeah, you're right.
I still think, Weezing as a general Pokemon is fantastic. Then there's these other ones that we can kind of mention that are all kind of here, but those are the ones that I really am looking at right now. Rhyperior is here. Ninetales is here to give Drought. Very cheap and easy Drought. Slowking, I think I already mentioned, but welcome back, Slowking. Slowking and Slowbro both in. Like, it's a Cresselia's here too. Kofagrigus we've talked about. Mega Amphora. Like, what more do you want to hear, man? Excelgor is here. Like, there's a lot of solid RU-NU that I think you can pretty much pick out the ones that are going to work for you. Mandibuzz can be a very good wall. Like, we could just sit here and literally talk about all of these. We could. Which I don't think in Pool 1 we really wanted to, because there's a lot of solid things in Pool 1, but Pool 2 again just kind of stands out to me and goes, yeah, we put all the good ones over here. Welcome to number 2. So, okay.
I guess we should move on to the bottom of the barrel.
Now, the nice thing about this, Gamma, this one's not that hard to talk about, because the one weakness of Pool 2 is its PU Pool 2. Literally stinks.
Hey, leave Crabominable.
You're right, I will leave the Wormadams alone. One notable Pokemon that dropped to this, which can be very annoying in mixed tier, Cinccino.
Oh yeah, with that skill link? Oof.
Yep, skill link with King's Rock, Choice Band, gets U-turn as well. The Pokemon drop because of usage, but in my opinion, I wouldn't shulk a 115 speed? Is it a 115?
No, it's
a 115 speed.
115. It's decent. It's pretty fast.
For a PU Pokemon that sports 95 attack, 115 speed, good coverage and skill link to hit the 5 times with multiple attacks like that, and can potentially do that whole flinching thing, I think this is a great troll poke or a great way to clean up those Focus Sash users. Or just clean up in general if you have some good hazard setup. Like, I'm not going to sleep on Cinccino as a PU poke at all. You can go really powerful OU into a Cinccino pick if you get to it and really do a number on people. Yeah, no, like, keep it in mind. I'm dead serious. Cinccino's a fantastic thing to pivot into no matter what, all the time.
Oh yeah, it's a great PU pick, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I will be surprised if it doesn't get picked up. That and Electros. Electros is another one.
Electros is a very versatile poke. Acid Spray comes to mind. Assault Vest, mixed no matter what. U-turn Anvil, which again, like, it's got a ton of moves for what it is. It's an eel, but it drains you, it punches you and drains you, it spits at you, it floods you, it shocks you. Like, the thing just...
It has no weaknesses, right?
It has no weaknesses because of Levitate, yeah.
Yeah.
And
so...
like, look at his stats. Have you seen its stats?
His stats are pretty good.
Yeah. Like, this thing is...
If I remember right.
115 attack, 80 defense, 105 special attack, 80 defense, 50 speed, 85 HP. Like, what were they doing in... Electros is so strange to me because it brings a bunch of stuff for no reason. Like, they're just like, we need a Pokemon that could do a bunch of versatility. We need a Mew of Gen 5. Choose the stupid one, Eel. And now you have Electros with no weakness.
Exactly.
It's odd. Like, obviously, I think it's more of a jack of all trades, but the master of none type of Pokemon. That's why it ends up a PU. Plus, it doesn't do anything more special than a lot of other Electro types or just anything in the meta in general. If you're looking for a Pokemon to fill a hole, this is the thing you want over the hole. Like, if you're hemorrhaging, this is the leech you put on. This is the thing you use. Honestly, I don't know. It's odd. I'm gonna say it's a lot because I'm stumbling over the fact that there's too much power. Hold on, let me look at Wailord. Oh, I feel good again.
Wailord,
I'm good. I'm good now. I can breathe.
No, there's solid fallbacks in PU, and it's crazy how much there is.
Another suicide lead in Frostlass. Girder is an okay setup as long as it keeps Eviolite. If not, still okay. Haunter is a fairly fast kind of finisher where it can come in and revenge kill. That's what it's called, revenge killing. Yeah. Hitmonchan's spinner, I'm sure there's better ways to do it with Defog or spinning in this. You have Spiritomb down there, which obviously has fallen to enormous grace with the dawn of fairy typing, but still got really good stabs again. Sucker Punch nerfed, but still there. Can still go that. Pain Split. It can go that Will-O-Wisp build, and it to me it acts more of a phantasmal Snorlax. That's how I kind of think of Spiritomb. Bulky sets itself up, kind of relies on the one attack and Dark Pulse, but can still do a lot of things. It can rest, it can heal itself, it can cripple a lot of things. The thing can be very annoying if not managed properly. But you gotta kind of really let it not get managed properly. Simipour, don't sleep on Simipour. It does get Nasty Plot. It does get access to Ice Beam and Hydro Pump, Scald as well. You do have to use an HP for Grass or something of the sort. It does get Focus Blast, so...
It can sweep.
It can, you know what? It also has Gluttony, and we do have the berries. Oh, yeah. So I believe we do have Salad Berry, do we not?
Yeah.
Do we?
I think we do. We have all the berries.
We have all... Well, we don't have Custap, though, do we? Is Custap
we got that now.
We got it now?
Yeah, Custap, it's back.
Gigalith gets value.
Yeah, we got it as a mystery, so I think it's legal now.
Now, is that... I'm just going to double check, because it might be back, but it might not have been implemented. Let me validate here really quickly. Not. Nope, it's... Oh, sorry.
I know we got it, though. That's one thing we did get.
We got it. Oh, my God. Why didn't I even start talking about Custap Strat? Custap Berry was my favorite item to use back when I played a lot, honestly. But Trevenant's a pain in the ass. Yes, Harvest was nerfed in Gen 7, or in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. It was nerfed from it not being... I think it's 25% now instead of 50% in the sun. Or, sorry, 100% in the sun. I can't remember exactly what they did to it, but I do remember it being... Let me pull up the stats. 50% chance, 100% in sun. Never mind. Was it 7?
Huh? I don't know, but what I do know is that Toucan is not a bad choice either.
Explain Toucan to me.
Toucan, it's got Beak Blast. Anything physical, just burn it.
True.
It's also got Skill Link, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it does, and it does get access to Rock Blast and Bullet.
Yeah, Rock Blast and Bullet Seed, I believe.
Yes, and does it get Fury Attack? I hope it does.
I'm about to find out.
The best thing I've ever seen. Did I ever show you that Fury Swipes A-Palm in Little Cup with Skill Link?
No, you didn't.
Oh,
you did
man,
not.
That was so stupid, but it works. It's gross and it doesn't work very well, but it's really funny to use Fury Swipes with Skill Link.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. To cannon.
I thought this got nerfed at some point. Either way.
It gets Fury Attack, yeah.
Oh boy, you don't do it, but it's there.
Stab Fury Attack, though.
Is it go what base 22.5? Woo.
That's a solid 120 attack stat, though.
Yes. It just doesn't stand out to the likes of stuff like Swellow.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
right.
birds that actually do more.
Yeah, understandable. But yeah, I don't.
What about your boy Poliwrath? Where's Hype Man at 1:30 in the morning talking about Poliwrath here?
Listen, man.
Uh-huh.
You don't even want to get me in on Poliwrath
yes, I do.
now.
Go right now.
He's got that circle throw. He's a beefy boy. He has waterfall, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm more of a Politoad guy.
You're a Toad over the Wrath?
Yeah.
Are you sure, man?
The only reason I went on about the buffest wag is because I imagined just Poliwag, doing the blizzard and special, Jim. It's got a story behind it.
Okay.
But personally, I prefer Politoad. But Poliwrath is a really solid choice, especially if you're set up with the circle throw. Because
bulk up circle throw will get you through.
Oh yeah. The only thing that sucks is the flying and electric weakness. That's grass it can sort of handle, I think.
Duh. Grass can hit it, yes. Fighting does not resist.
I don't know. Its weaknesses a little kind of outweigh what it's worth, in my opinion. But I don't know. It's solid. It wouldn't be a bad one to fall onto.
I want one more opinion from you.
Hit me.
Guzzlord.
Have we seen that? Well, we have the Tapoos. If we didn't see as much fairy as we're seeing right now, I would jump on Guzzlord. That and the amount of fighting moves that are in the meta, I don't know. It's kind of iffy when it comes to Guzzlord. In certain situations, it'd be okay, but right now, I don't really feel it's right for the meta that's kind of forming right in front of me.
I would kind of agree. There are better dark types and or dragon types to pick up over Guzzlord, despite the fact that it brings that unique like dark dragon typing. Or sorry, that's not unique. What the hell am I saying? But it brings a dark dragon type with a really big fat HP stat of 230. But yeah, there's a lot of fighting types that can be scooped up here that I would say are high priority and would destroy it. But on top of that, you're right. There'd be a lot of fairy and fighting teched all over the place. There's gonna be ice everywhere because you're gonna need it. And anyways, but like there are better dark types to scoop it up as a PU kind of last pick might not be the worst choice, but I don't. It's really odd because there's a lot of bad PUs in here. Sandslash,
Yeah.
Slush Rush can happen because we do have Hail in here. Alolan Raichu, I don't see anyone really wanting that. Maybe Alolan Persian. Lycanroc is kind of useless.
I was actually about to ask if somebody were to have to choose with a PU Pokemon and they wanted a dark Pokemon, which do you think would be better, Liepard or Alolan Persian?
You went there. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
That's kind of a personal preference thing because it goes between do you want something that can set up that has a defense from Fluffy, or do you want to set up with the Prankster, right?
Yeah.
I would have to do a little bit more research into it. But for me, from first looks, Liepard sounds better to me because Prankster. I just find it better to Nasty Plot with Prankster, substitute and Thunderwave with Prankster, and try and get that off. Alolan Persian...
It's got that Nasty Plot, man.
It's got Fur Coat. It's also got Technician. So I guess...
Set up that Nasty Plot, get a decent move that can benefit from Technician. It's got Fake Out if you need it.
Less stats from what I'm seeing here.
Does it?
Yeah.
I personally didn't look this up before, so
more speed. It has Alolan Persian has more speed but less special attack, and then you've got Technician versus Prankster, or Fur Coat versus something like Limber. So I think Persian does better here if you're looking for something that can do a little more damage. Plus it carries things like Play Rough if you really want to look at it, because what's it got, 60 attack? Yeah, alright. It's not the best, but again, we're also looking at PU, so of course it's not going to be the best.
Yeah.
What does it get to buff with? It's got HP it can buff with Technician. What else does it have here? Yeah, it doesn't have anything of note to buff with Technician. So you go Fur Coat, makes you safe from physical attacks, which is nice because there's no fire drawback because it's not fluffy. I think that's going to come down to preference, honestly.
Yeah.
Because if I'm thinking about, again, roll to my team, I'm probably looking for a Prankster user at this point versus a sweeper. That's a Alolan Persian. If I have to sweep with a Alolan Persian, I've lost draft. Or if I need another attacker like that, not saying it can't happen, but theorizing the way in which I would imagine and envision myself in Pool 2, this would probably be like a pick 11, 12th choice if we're getting down to Liepard. I could be wrong. People might overvalue Prankster, but we also have Klefki. We also have a couple other Pokemon that could do it. No Sableye, unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever one you look at it. But if I'm thinking late Pool 2 drafting, I'm thinking Liepard, because I should have a team that can do enough without me having to rely on something like a Alolan Persian. But both have their own niche and are both in PU. So take that as you will. Also keep in mind that Spiritomb does exist as another annoying one that can be, again, serving a slightly different role, brings an extra typing, which can lead to more stuff, but also brings that Willow, brings that stall tactics to it. So, I can't give you an answer there. I don't know.
Well, you know what? It doesn't even matter. We all know who's going to pick, what the first pick from PU is going to be, and it's going to be Crabominable.
Yeah, someone needs that tier 1 sub.
Yeah. But is that? I think that's all for PU, right?
Yeah, I'll make some special mentions. Articuno with the freeze dry and it could be fairly bulky with the defog on the special side, of course. Lantern, it's Old Faithful. Water Electric has Volt and Water Absorb. You can do a lot of mind games, although you probably just want Volt Absorb. But it's fat enough to take hits. It's good enough to switch out. It's got Scald and Volt Switch. It's good. It's not great. There's a lot of water types to be contesting with. But that, again, like we said, electric is not very prevalent here. So getting an electric type that could do something for stab, we have a lot of Pokemon that can use electric attacks. But, Lantern's not a complete slouch. It's bulky enough. We already mentioned the things that can happen if weather is picked up. We do have a couple of things that can come out of that. Electrode can be your Old Faithful rain setup. Frostlass, I think we mentioned briefly. Excellent suicide lead. Or one of the best probably debonders you're going to find other than something like Mega Houndoom if people don't play around it correctly. And shout-outs to Licky Licky.
Somebody turned on the Wi-Fi because Licky Licky's in the house.
What?
His stomach has the Wi-Fi symbol.
I knew you were going there, but why do you have to turn down the Wi-Fi? Wouldn't you want to enhance the signal?
No, he's in the house. Listen, man.
Huh?
I don't know. Forget
right.
it. Licky Licky's strong. He's a beefy boy.
Hey, Licky Licky gets some moves. Don't sleep on Licky Licky.
Yeah, he's got roll
for
out.
God's sake, choose something better than Licky Licky. It can do it. Assault Vest is great. It'll draft well. Okay. Any final thoughts with the two pools coming out? I think we've talked about weather quite a bit. Any final thoughts, Gam? I'm sure people are getting absolutely exhausted listening to us now. But if you need to leave it off with what you're looking forward to on draft day, July 17th, what are we looking at here? What is your overall opinion on the direction of this without having to talk about coaches or anything like that?
I'm just hoping everybody takes the time to think out their drafts as much as we did last time.
That is such a father answer. I hope you all do the best that you can, which is what we encourage, obviously. Yeah. But you just said it so well like that.
I also hope they draft Crabominable because I want to see that. I want to see that happen.
Gamma does not go back on his deals. He means this deal. Yeah. He wouldn't say it unless he was going to do it. So keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I would love to see some Trick Room, some Weather Wars maybe, since we got the option. But other than that, I wish everybody luck in their drafts. I'll be there watching, So I'll be silently judging those of you who just go straight for those OU Pokemon. Silently.
Yeah, this is a really exciting draft because the slight shift in the number of OUs that are existing in this has blown open the amount of power and just tier shifts everywhere where you would find certain Pokemon that have moved up or down. This might be, with the randomized pool drafting and stuff like that, I am all for it and ready to go to see what direction people go. We got a lot of experienced returning coaches. We've got new coaches that seem to have a decent knowledge in the metagame. But again, we don't judge by experience. We're going to judge by what's going to be going on. They're going to show it all out on the field. July 17th, 2019, 7 p.m. Eastern start time. 7:15 will be the intros as well as we get into the draft. And after that, ladies and gentlemen, battles begin July 24th. 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. We're getting right into the action. We're in Pro Pokeball season, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Season 5 officially. We will do another episode after the draft day. We will be talking about how we think the 11 coaches are going to do, plus a little bit of history with them. I hope you will join us for that. And thank you very much for listening to this extended episode that went into great detail that you're probably shaking your head at for about 2 hours worth.
Yep.
Great answer to me staring at you, Gamma. Gamma, please plug your stuff.
All right. Well, as I've said before, I do a decent amount of editing for the Pocket Aces videos and podcast. You can check them out at YouTube. Just search Team Pocket Aces, Pixelmon or something. I'm sure we'll show up. Check out the podcast on Spoofy and SoundCloud. I also stream every once in a while. Twitch.tv/Amagamma. Twitter.com @Amagamma. AMAGAMMA. So, yeah. Thanks for having me on, dude. Appreciate it.
Always, man.
I love these kinds of talks, all the theory crafting and whatnot.
Despite the fact you're slowly falling asleep in your chair.
I mean, it is almost 2 in the morning.
Don't tell the okay, I broke the immersion anyways by saying the time. If you want to follow the Pro Pokeball action, it is over on twitch.tv/ProPokeNoob. It is live, it is commentated, it is hype, but not too much hype because I don't want to wake people up. And I'm ready. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. I'm ready to watch potentially history be made here as we're going for 2 times. We're going for the most complex drafting system that has existed in the Pro Pokeball since its inception. And let's get it going. We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you very much for joining us today. Have a fantastic day.
Later. I wonder who's going to win the duck.